So, mid-season time, apparently. Episode 7. Mammon's magnificent mid-musical mid-season special featuring Fizzarolli. So we're still going to be stuck with Alex Brightman, who I love, which is why I perform anger and distress at his presence. And I keep forgetting to get the goddamn thumbnails of the videos to take a look at before we go, but I guess we're going to hang out with Mammon, who one assumes is the embodiment of greed, so hey, introduction to another one of the sins. Who's gonna voice this one? Like, last time it was fucking Kesha. So, stab in the dark. Nora Jones. I don't know. Fucking Nora Jones. It's gonna be Cher. It's gonna be, I don't fucking know. the Pope. Something. Yes, I'll find out. Oh, I see. So that's how we're conceptualizing it. I mean, it would make sense that those two little goobers would be big fans if he's the king clown of hell. Given how fucking greedy Blitz's dad is, something about that feels a little tragic. Well, that's an accent. Okay. Face alert.
Right, I got tons of really fucking cool shit for you here tonight. But first, how many of you worthless bitches want to be big clowns like me someday? Well, I'm happy to announce that I will be starting up a new yearly clown pageant. You know, like one of them fucked up beauty contests, but for clowns, so it's better!
You're not wrong there. Seriously, like, no, I'm not kidding. If a fucking, like, America's Next Top Runway model or fucking whatever, like RuPaul's Drag Race, but for clowns, I would be all over that shit. Like, I'm not much for reality, but that shit into my veins. Directly into my veins. Give me that. I want that. Absolutely. Like, the whole thing with the makeup, coming up with the design for the face, like, putting together costumes, learning all of the fucking trickery of, like, there'd be one clown who's like a Charlie Chaplin clown, like, doing the Charlie Chaplin tramp character. Because that, I remember, my family took a vacation to, like, Italy many years ago. There's a theme park down there, and there was like this Colosseum area in the theme park, and like there was some kind of fucking show happening, I don't remember, but before the show, like during this a warm-up, in the stands there would be like a Charlie Chaplin tramp character clown just walking around, like messing with people, like just like playing tricks on people, doing little clown bits. He was so fucking good. It was the best part of that vacation. I've remembered him forever. So give me Project Runway for clowns. Absolutely, 100%. That's a fucking reality show I would watch. Anyway, Mammon, hello, hi. So I'm chewing a little bit on the specific connection of clowns with greed. Of clowning specifically with greed. And like, because like, again, Hell has this whole circus thing going on, where like apparently like we have like lust as the magician, but then greed is the clowns. And that's interesting because, like, first of all, clowns don't tend to get paid that well. But it's an interesting thing, like, connecting those two together. I'm sort of trying to parse through if there's thematic implications to that are relevant. So we're doing, like, a classic sort of... There's a little bit of a... Well, it's jester hat thing, of course, obviously. He's got the jester thing. but with the white and black and like the little bit of that, like that patterning, I get a little bit of the Pierrot clown archetype, like the white-faced sad clown Pierrot. Like, because there's a bunch in clowning, and this is something I'm not familiar enough with to really sort of parse it. There's a bunch of different archetypes of clowns. Like, there's a bunch of different kinds of clowns that sort of play different comedic roles within, like, different traditions of clowning, right? Like, Italian, circus and stage history has, like, its own whole fucking, like taxonomy of clowns and types of clowns. Like, you have the Harlequin, who's a very specific type of clown, like, who plays very specific roles within, like, La Commedia dell'arte. You have the Pierrot, you have, fuck, I can't remember the names of all of them, but like there is a whole taxonomy of like clowns that represent different aspects of the human experience, and I believe that there is specifically a clown somewhere in there who's like with their comedy role is specifically like to be greedy, to be the ones who are trying to like run a scheme or get rich quick, or like that's sort of where the comedy of their sort of clowning comes from, is like this sort of scheming, trying to pull a fast one sort of personality. I'm wondering if that's like specifically a part of the underpinning of this connection, or if it's more random than that.
For all you aspiring clown kids out there, a new chance out there, a new chance to work with me, Mammon, and be the new face of my clownish brand. I can't wait to see all the new talent I can exploit. Enjoy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's another thing, by the way, kids. Whenever some corporation, like you'll see this all the time, games companies do this all the time. Like, we're having a competition for submit your art in order to, we'll print it on a t-shirt or whatever. Never sign up for those. Don't do it. Not worth it. First of all, in order to do it, you have to sign over like all of the copyright. Like, not all of it. Like, there's a small amount of copyright you have to retain, but you have to sign away like basically all your rights to ever monetize any of that, or like gain any personal benefit from it. And also, like, the point of them doing that, what they're trying to do, whenever a corporation does that, the point isn't really the contest. The contest doesn't really matter that much. It's not about like who wins the contest. The point is to get as many online creatives as possible to create artwork for submission into the contest test, and then post that to their own social medias, right? Like, this is my entry for the blah blah art contest thing or whatever, posting that online to their followers in order to generate free marketing, right? So that there's one winner, maybe a couple of runners up or whatever, that they have to give like some little prize to, like, oh yeah, you get a t-shirt and a special stature, fucking like some fucking merchandise bullshit that they just like fob off on people. But the point is to get like 4,000 people to create artwork in their IP and post it online to their own followers as a form of organic marketing. That's why they're doing it. So don't do that. Don't absolutely draw fan art for the things that you love, but just do it for yourself. Don't submit it to those contests. Don't post it online like my entry for the thing. Like, don't do that. Just do it for yourself. Build your own audiences with that shit. Don't do their marketing work for them.
Watching me.
That has nothing to do with the episode we're watching. It's just that just touched on something.
Me grow my empire. Also, if you're a chick, maybe give up on your dreams now, because I'm not gonna lie, women just ain't funny.
Oh, he's a piece of shit. I mean, no surprise there, but oh boy, okay.
Anyway, my plan is to find the new face of my brand. Yeah! So they gotta bring the good shit. The winner will get to be like the son I never had. And I'll be like the stepdad that will love you when it's convenient.
I do like that, like, Blitz sort of immediately cottons on that, like, oh, that sounds a lot like my regular dad, actually. And then poor Fizz, who doesn't have that experience, is still like, oh, yay, this is such a great idea. I can't wait to, oh dear.
Wow. You might be a lunchbox, an action figure, Saturday morning cartoon. Hell, I might even make a sex robot of you. I don't know. I mean, if it'll make money, sure. But it's not weird. You're weird, you sick fuck. And if you say it's exploitation, fuck you. It's not exploitation. If you think that, then you're a dickhead. Anyway, clown!
That's, again, like a very accurate... Because that's, again, like, when you call out this shit, right? If you call out any of this shit of like, oh, hey, it seems like you're getting a whole bunch of labor that you're not actually paying anything for, that's when people will get really defensive. Like, oh, it's not exploitation. People are doing it of their own free will. Like, it's not, no one's being forced to do it. It's not a gun through their head. Right? It's that thing of like, you're a dickhead for even pointing it out. Common response, common tactic to sort of deflect from those criticisms.
Let's go, yeah!
All right, I'm gonna say it. That was too many clowns.
I have to win that pageant someday. Can you imagine how amazing it would be to get to work with him?
Nice job on Brightman to like modulate the fizz voice up just a little bit to make it a little more squeaky.
What's the point? Isn't being the star of our imp circus enough? Plenty of people already know who you are, Fizz. You don't need to...
Meanwhile, it sounds a little bit like Brandon Rogers just had some pitch correction applied to his voice after the fact. Let me just have another listen to that. What? 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 Just a sec. My cat Artemis was outside of my office door just going meow, 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 and she does that when she wants attention. She just like it's all she wants. It's just like for me to come out and pick her up and cuddle her for like a minute or two. And then she's like, I've had enough, and then she wants to go down. But she'll sit outside my door and go meow, meow, meow for like 10 or 20 minutes in order to get that 1 or 2 minutes of actual petting. I know. Hi, sweetie. Oh, now you want to be on my desk instead of up in my arms, huh? Yeah, you wiggly little bastard. So just gotta give her the petting. Yeah, I know. Shut up. I'm trying to record something here. I think my microphone is pretty good at cutting out any noise that isn't like... It's a stage microphone, so it's made to pick up only noises that are right in front of it. But you're very distracting. Oh, purr. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Where were we? Right. I wanted to hear Brandon Rogers' voice here.
What's the point? Isn't being the star of our imp circus enough?
Yeah, do you hear that little crackling in like the high frequencies of his voice? That sounds a lot like a maybe not perfectly executed pitch correction that's distorting his voice a little bit.
Plenty of people already know who you are, Fizz. You don't need to go work for Mammon like some creepy mascot.
It's not about that. It's getting to work with my idol. I just love that he's giving someone new the chance to be in the spotlight. He's an inspiration.
Well, he's definitely something, all right.
Little character design note there also. Like, Blitz, with his much darker outlook on life, has like the sort of the dark tank top and the spiked color and like sort of the like, and then Fizzarolli, who's like way more optimistic and sunny and sunshiny, has like the brighter colors on. Like just a good little character design.
I don't know, was it worth all our savings just to have him put on an overhyped commercial and then bitch about taxes and then assault us with clowns, vomit and pass out on stage?
So worth it. Blitzo.
Okay, that's not a silhouette I recognize.
Blitzo, do you think I could win if I worked really hard?
I think if anyone's gonna be the new clown face on everything, it'll be you, Fizz.
Oh shit! You're Fizzarolli!
Oh, I see. Okay, not a character we recognize then.
Oh man! You're
Oh, hey there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, okay.
After seeing your shows, I wanted to get into clown performing too. I'm really good.
Hey, aren't you that creep who's always trying to sniff around our dressing rooms?
I have the best idea for a duo performance between us that should spice up your act. Picture this. We start it like a romantic ballroom dance where
Dude, weird fucking pitch. Fuck off.
I was talking to the clown, asshole. I'm sorry, Fizzy. I'm not normally so aggressive. I promise. I've just waited my whole life for an opportunity like this. With your fame and my raw, undiscovered talent, I knew we could.
Hey, shit, dick. Beat it now or I'll make you swallow your fangs.
Fizz, you don't want me to leave, right? Tell him you don't want me to go.
We have to go now. Thanks, though.
Don't want to say too much, because you shouldn't give them attention. That just sort of makes it worse. But let's just say recognize some of the dynamic that's happening here.
Fizzarolli! Fine! Fuck you! You think you're better than me, you elitist prick? Your act's fucking trash anyway!
Yeah, that, yep, no, had some of those comments. Yep, there's, No, that's well observed. That is an accurate observation of a specific dynamic. Yep.
Cheese and hot sauce, Fizz. Your fans or something else?
What if my acts are trash? What if I'm never good enough?
Hey, don't let one asshole get to you, okay? You are plenty good enough.
But I have to be perfect.
No, you don't.
Do you?
I'll just have to keep practicing, and someday, maybe I'll be good enough for...
It's me, Mammon, and I'm here to announce the amazing new brand, Fizzy!
Well, there we go. That's the other thing, is like that kind of thing, it preys on insecurity, right? Like, it's, again, I try to modulate, not say too much, but there is a certain kind of person who will latch on to media that they like and who have an uncanny ability to pinpoint insecurities in the people that they try to manipulate, and they'll use those to try and get what they want, right? Like their own validation, whatever they themselves are going for. And like that response, right? Like of, give me what I want, and if you refuse, then I start to hurl abuse immediately. Like this thing, fine, you fucking suck anyway, you're trash. Like women will often recognize this from dudes, where it's like a dude will come up, oh my god, you're so beautiful, baby, show me your tits, whatever. And then when they say no, it's like, oh, you're an ugly bitch anyway. Like it's that dynamic, right? It's that particular pattern of behavior. And like that thing of like, you think you're better than me, you elitist prick, is like, yeah, no, I have heard that one. I have heard that one from people who I wouldn't, entertain with my time and my attention. And it's a difficult one because like it really, I'm not especially interested in being better than anyone. And I worry about, like, fucking 500 people watching me react to a cartoon right now, right? Like, I do worry about that. About trying not to feel above other people. So, like, that can be a very effective strategy to manipulate someone, is to sort of play on, like, if you don't do what I want, then that's because you're an elitist. That's because you're a snob. That's because, like you think you're better than other people. So you have to do what I want, otherwise, right? It's this false dichotomy thing. Like, it's accurately observed.
But I have to be perfect.
Do you?
I'll just have to keep practicing, and someday, maybe I'll be good enough for...
It's me, Mammon, and I'm here to announce the amazing new brand, Fizzy! We got a Fizzy for every occasion. We got fluffy toy fizzy, fireman fizzy, therapist fizzy, wait in line for your fizzy, doctor fizzy, beeps every time it senses cancer, fat fizzy, skinny fizzy, so many fizzies! And if you want to fuck them, you can! We got fizzies for the kids, fizzies for the teens, and
Oh, jeez.
fizzies for you.
Oh, hey, they have fizzies for you, chat.
Sick fucking degenerate adults! We got them all! All based on my new face, Fizzy!
That's me!
Oh, yours now! Do it!
Oh, fuck. Mammon is gonna notice that.
Huh. What do we have there? A scar?
Mammon is gonna notice that. Ozzy! Where did my foundation go?
This is the 10th year in a row you've done this stupid pageant, Froggy. And you win every time. How come you're always so dead set on this?
I want to make Mammon proud, okay? He's really passionate about the craft of clown. He expects perfection, so I got...
Does he? Does he expect perfection? It doesn't really seem like he expects perfection. It really doesn't seem like he expects perfection at all. Seems a little bit like he expects just like anything that's reasonably fucking marketable that he can slap a bunch of like merchandising all over and make a bunch of money out of. I think there's someone else who might expect perfection from you though, Fizz. I think there might be another person who has that expectation. Might not be Mammon. Oh, hang on. Wait, hang on. So, that they tried to manipulate. Okay, good. I accidentally stopped the recording for a second there, and I nearly didn't notice, and I was about to keep talking for 2 hours without... Whew, but I caught it. Everything's safe. Everything's saved. Okay. Back to it.
Gotta be perfect.
Fizz, you ain't perfect. Nobody is.
Triple mirrors, looking at himself, reflections, worrying about perception. Yeah, good visual language.
How about you sit this one out and let someone else take the spotlight? You deserve a break or a vacation where you don't have to fend off creeps the entire time.
I had to fend off creeps before the robots. I just have thirstier ones now. Besides, I just have to do this.
Let me rephrase. I don't like how many creeps you have now, thanks to Mammon.
Good communication from Ozzy there. Good communication, right? Like, this is the thing, like, you communicate with someone, you have a language with them, you talk, it's like, hey, it's like, maybe you have too many creeps, and then when the other person doesn't quite get what you're trying to say, okay, let's rephrase it and state it in obvious terms. Good relationship advice from the show there is like, okay, my meaning didn't quite get across. Let's clarify it and make it easier, rather than take the person not understanding my meaning as a sort of rejection, which is a thing that happens sometimes. Like, oh, my implied meaning wasn't picked up on. Well, that means that they're rejecting what I'm saying. It's like, no, sometimes you just gotta take another pass at it to make sure they understand what you mean.
And I don't like designing sex toys with your likeness for him. Pretty sure you feel the same.
I just don't think about it. A toy is a toy. Look, Oz, I'm fine. Working for Mammon is a big deal to me. He's been my idol since I was 5. I can't just not compete. I'd be letting him down.
Again.
The fan's down.
Mammon can eat my ass in a bad way.
Again, Fizzy, I don't think he gives a shit. I think he'll replace you at the first opportunity he has, and I think that's what you're scared of. I think you're not really scared about letting him down. You're not scared about letting down the fans. You're scared of not being good enough. Because that's sort of, that was the insecurity that the first creeper there was hitting on, right?
Fizz, I've known that guy since the start of hell, and he fucking sucks. Always has. He doesn't even do clown shit anymore. I just don't want you doing all this for someone's approval. Sometimes heroes let you down.
I know, Oz, but this is for me.
He's not lying. It is for him. It's just, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily good or the right thing.
I don't want to lose.
Fucking goddamn it. Face alert. And the fucking horse sounds from the TV. Is he watching porn or is he just like watching a nature documentary that he It's not clear to me. I mean, I don't usually eat cereal with pornography, but you know, it's like each their own. Fucking the fucking slobber. Looking directly into the camera. The animators are just having fun.
Hello?
Is this Fizz's former bestie, then lifelong enemy, then recent hero, now newly rekindled sort of friend, Blitz?
Oh, that was a weird way to put it, but yeah, that's me.
This is Asmodeus.
Oh shit, the big Oz himself. Is there a reason you're calling me on the weekend? Your sinfulness? You royal big man?
You've lived rent-free in Fizz's head for years, so I can't help feel he values your take on things.
Yeah, I was the one who usually had the stronger opinions. Yeah, like one time, he tried convincing me that juggling was cool. But it's only a little cool at best.
Look, he's dead set on re-entering Greed's yearly clown pageant.
Wow, big fucking surprise there.
I was hoping to have some backup in convincing him that this thing is a waste of time.
What? Why? Doesn't he always win?
'Cause Mammon is a selfish, manipulative piece of shit. And Fizz doesn't listen to me when I try to tell him that.
Well, my special skills are killing things without giving fucks and pointing out people's flaws. All right, count me in.
Again, like the little snippet we saw of what Blitz is watching, the horses were kissing, but does that mean it's romance or... I do like that the two of them are coordinating, right? Like, again, good on Ozzy for being like, okay, we clearly need like Fizz's social network here. Like we need an intervention from more than one person. It's like a little meddly. Should maybe check with your partner before inviting that whole bag of issues back into his life in that way. But you know.
Clown event in years.
Can you remind me why you're here again?
I invited him to help you with extra security. You know your fans. Since I can't be with you, I felt he'd be the next best thing.
He'd be the next best thing?
Well, he kept you safe when I wasn't able to, so I trust that.
Ah, Blitz.
Little sus, babe.
Come on, it's just like old times. I'll make sure no one gives you shit today.
You mean besides you?
Hey, there he is! Now how's my bright, shiny brand baby doing? Ready to reclaim your win another year? Yeah?
You know it, Mammon, sir.
Good, cause, you know, I saw your competition and it's pretty stiff, right? You are gonna have to try extra hard, like fixing that posture. Not gonna lie, you're looking a bit shungo, yeah?
Woo. Again with the like. It's like, no, he isn't. Oh my god.
Maybe lose a few so we don't gotta make any more adjustments to the fizzies. People like them skinny as fuck.
Oh, right, sir. Of course. I'll work on that.
What?
Oh, and who's this dumpster diver you got here with ya?
Hi. Yes, nice to meet you. I'm the one who saw through your fake-ass bullshit from the day I had to spend all my savings on the shit-covered dick show you called a performance.
Ah, good boy, Blitz.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Ignore him, sir. He's like this all the time. He thinks he's funny.
Offended.
Right, yeah, you can shut your ass mouth, boy. I'll see you on stage. And don't forget to fucking smile, Fizzarolli. The smile is the face people like to see from you.
Wow, that guy sucks so hard.
Look, Blitz, I don't know why Oz brought you here, but can you at least not talk back to my boss? I need this gig.
Why? Don't you have the world's best sugar daddy?
I just need it, okay?
Do you now?
smile inside and out.
Love you, Fizz. We love you, Fizz. We love you, Fizz.
Again, that thing of like, oh, okay, why do you need it exactly? The other thing I wonder is like, is this a case just of like insecure perfectionism, or does Mammon have some kind of hold? Because like, I would imagine that shithead as greedy as Mammon would make sure to have some kind of hold.
Ready for another win, Fizz?
Oh,
well,
that...
I don't want to assume, but as always, I have an act that's without a doubt gonna fucking lose.
Glitz and Glam. Oh, some people have gender about these two, I can tell immediately.
Oh, fun. You gals gonna be competing as well? That's really nice.
You can shut up now, you fugly imp. Yeah, see, we didn't come to chat, we came to win.
Wow, what attractive attitudes you got.
Like we care what your opinion is, Roddy. Shut up, I was thinking of one! Should have been faster. Whore! Slow-ass bitch.
You know, it's pretty telling that you snatches can't even keep your stupid mirror shtick together. It ain't cute.
We don't need to. We put our energy towards our performance and winning Mammon's favor.
Oh, well, I look forward to seeing what you do, and may the best clown
We plan to.
win.
Aw, man, I didn't...
Okay, character design alert. I do like, I felt some kinship with Blitz, like pointing out, hey, your character design's kind of like, oh, you're doing a mirror stick? Hey, you're not keeping it up very well. It's like a little bit like me writing a short. Yeah, there's a fun little sort of twin thing going on there. With like inverted color schemes across. Like some inverted shape language from one to another. Like one has like the sleeve and then, yeah. Interesting. I want to see how that plays out.
Now you
Because for the moment, they seem to have basically the same personality divided across two shitheads.
fugly imp. Yeah, see, we didn't come to chat, we came to win.
Wow, what attractive attitudes you got.
Like we care what your opinion is, Roddy. Shut up, I was thinking of one! Should have been faster. Whore! Slow-ass bitch.
Aw.
You know, it's pretty
Siblings.
telling that you snatches can't even keep your stupid mirror shtick together. It ain't cute.
We don't need to. We put our energy towards our performance and winning Mammon's favor.
Oh, well, I look forward to seeing what you do, and may the best clown
We plan to.
win.
Aw, man, I didn't give a rat's ass about this competition, but Christ on a stick, Fizz, pile drive those sluts.
We've certainly got...
There's the shark theming. And a spider's web as well. Oh, is that what Mammon is? Is he like a spider? Is that what's hiding underneath all those clown bits? That would make sense. Like, instead of like drawing people into his nets. Using them, exploiting them. Sucking the life out of them. That seems like a spider-ass thing to do.
Certainly got some quality up here tonight, folks.
Okay, this is a little Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like, hey, if you look at that lineup, I wonder which ones are gonna be the important ones. Hey, can you tell which ones are gonna, like, be the most important performers and the ones you don't really have to care about? Is it obvious just from looking? A little bit Spot the Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist there. Not as bad. Like, obviously, Spot the Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist is like, you have a classroom full of people who just, like, look normal like humans, and then you have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist with, like, 14 miles of multicolored disaster for a hairdo and like a outfit that's sourced from a Hot Topic circa 2003. Here it's a little bit less obvious, right? Like, it's not like these characters don't look like they have a personality at all. It's just like, no, yeah, we can see where more time was spent on the character designs.
Will Mr. 10 Years Running come out on
Oh,
top?
yeah, no, he's a spider. Not even subtly at all, either. I do like the use of the fizz bots here. Like, as just sources of food and comfort and, like... I always, like... I don't especially like the use of, like, fatness as an embodiment. Oh, this character is, like, greedy. Because it feeds into some really ugly, like, stereotypes about, like, what a fat body means for a person, right? Like, this, it has this moralizing quality about, like, a very normal state of being for a body, by which I'm not saying, oh, there's no, like, I don't want to fucking see any discourse in the comments, by the way. I will fucking delete and block you about, no, being fat is unhealthy. Or, like, yeah, sure, fucking, like, riding a motorcycle is unhealthy. Motherfucker. Like, going on an airplane is unhealthy. I don't see people moralizing that shit in the same way that they do, like, a person having a certain body weight or whatever the fuck. My point being, I don't much like when, like, a character having, like, a large body and, like, being, like, eating too much or being, like, fat is equated with a certain kind of moral degeneracy, because that simply isn't how the world works. But that's more a thing about, like, that's a broader cultural discourse about how we treat these traits in culture, rather than being a problem with the show. Like, this is not a criticism of, oh, the show is doing something evil or whatever. It's a broader thing. It's a structural thing.
Running come out on top, or is it time for fresh meat juggling? It's objectively cool. Our returning champ is nobody's fool.
Wait, that's fucking Tom Cardy. That's... I'm not wrong, right? That's Tom Cardy.
Only got some quality up here tonight, folks. Will Mr. 10 years running come out on top, or is it time for fresh meat juggling? It's objectively cool.
Like, that, it was the line that gave it away. Juggling! It's objectively cool! Like, that is such a Tom Cardy-ass line.
Our returning champ is nobody's fool, but what's this? The twins bring it up to the wire. Also, they're on fire. That's points for style.
That's, yeah, Tom Cardy-ass. Oh my god, I really like him. He's funny.
The crowd goes wild. It's the pie gag and the twins want to taste, but what's this? It's fizz in the face. He takes the cake and he eats it too.
I'm not gonna say it. You're all thinking it. You perverts.
He's hungry to win and he's covered in goo. That's points for cream. The crowd screams. Balloons, he's pumping them out. From where I'm sitting, you can hear the crowd. Not give a shit because the twins are here. They're full of sin and they're here to win. Holy moly. Things are not looking good for Fizzarolli. And now we are down to our clowny finalists. My very own pride and
Charge me, Mammon. 666-966-696-669-996. Nice.
my very own pride and joy. The marketable son I never had. Fizzarolli!
Yeah!
And the surprisingly funny women act that made me reflect on my earlier statements. The Glam Sisters! Now we're gonna have a quick meet and greet with our finalists!
Very nice. Like the little dollar symbols and the lightning.
Talk it over, kiddies! You know it's worth it!
Hey, Mammon, I may not be in the right headspace to interact with the fans right now. Is it okay if I maybe skip the whole thing?
Of course not!
I just really don't think that I'm really...
Oh, come on, Fizzy, my boy!
I don't know exactly how much money I'm willing to bet, but I'm willing to bet some amount of money that is a thing that exists somewhere in real life. I don't know if it's official merchandise, but I'm willing to take the bet. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Come on. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't look it up. For fuck's sake. My own fault. I was the one who went looking for stuff in the background. But come on. That was a bad day to be on the internet when that thing broke. I was there, Gandalf. Oh, hey, Funko Pop. 3,000 years ago. Fizz in a jar. Really? Don't look it up. Don't. I know because I've said it, you're going to be, well, I need to know now. No, you don't need to know. You don't need to look it up. You don't need to know. I swear to God. And you don't need to see the pictures. I'm begging you to trust me on this one. Please, just... Like, if you go and look it up, don't come crying to me. I don't want any comments like, why did you say... No, I warned you. Don't do it.
Boy, don't you want to do this for your fans? Listen to them. They're dying to meet.
Is that a hellhound?
To meet you. Dying to see a little fizzy face. You got to make a good impression, mate. The better the impression, the more they want a piece of you they can take home and fuck. Don't you want that, Fizzy?
No, he doesn't, but...
To be fucked?
I mean, no, not really, actually.
Fizzy, I'm not gonna lie. I want that. So come on, just do this one thing for me.
Okay, sir.
Ah, you're a bloody legend, Fizzy. They're gonna want to fuck you. Like you're fucking my heart with joy right now.
This fucking piece of shit, man. It's like he returns to that over and over. Like, and we talked about that, like, tone being all over the place. The fucking tone of these reactions, man. We talked at the end of the last episode about like how sexual assault has nothing to do with like eroticism or pleasure or power. The way that he keeps returning to that, like they're gonna want to fuck you, like we're gonna make a sex toy out of you, they're gonna want to fuck you, just like he keeps returning to that in a way that's just like so gross and grody and so much feels like an active attempt to humiliate him. Right? And that's like, again, that's like the same thing like nature of sexual harassment, right? It's like, but they're just expressing that you're very attractive and they find you. It's like, no, that's not what someone's like. When someone's doing sexual harassment, it's not about expressing attraction. It's not about communicating any information. It's not about like earnestly expressing anything internal. It's about power. Like it's about asserting power, control, over another person and their boundaries and their comfort. It's about, like, I can say gross shit to you that will make you feel uncomfortable, and that gives me a rush of power. Like, that's what it is, right? And that's kind of what this fucking feels like, is, like, it feels like an assertion of domination. I don't know if, like, I'm also not 100% sure. It also feels like this guy is maybe a little bit too vapid and shallow to even understand that that's what he's doing. It's like, I don't know exactly how they're playing it, but, like, the whole... I want to make a fuck doll out of you. I want to make an object out of you that other people can abuse for their pleasure and make money doing it. That feels like a power play. Like that feels like a humiliation thing of like wanting to degrade and objectify other people for your own sick thrills. And by the way, like wanting to degrade and objectify someone is fine if you're both doing it with consent and everyone's having a good time. That's the difference between that and sexual harassment.
Busy. They're gonna want to fuck you like you're fucking my heart with.
Also, expression alert. Aw, this little balloon toy.
With joy right now.
Oh, are we having Daleks? I think I caught it early this time.
Now get out there and make me proud, you stupid little...
That's an unusually nice smoke cloud. We'll talk about that in a second. Hang on. Oh, that's nice. Like with the two-tone painting on the edges, like you get the deep dark crevice outlining like the deepest part of the volume, and then you get like a lighter one that's like, that really deepens the volume of the smoke cloud in a really nice way. Yeah, look at that. That looks gorgeous. Like that little two-tone approach like really adds something. Like a much better sense of three-dimensionality even. It also looks a little bit like a butthole. But you know.
Wow, Fizz. You let him talk to you like that? You got some kind of secret kink I should know about or something?
It's just how he is.
I mean, shit, if he talked to me that way...
That's fine. Hey, you folks, where you from? Oh, Lost. Love it there, obviously. Went Dreamsville. Best pharmacies in hell. Ragesburg. Well, nice to meet you, partner. I don't do accents. Fun. Ah, nice to meet you, too. Thank you so much for coming to the show. We love you, Faith.
I can't speak to the accuracy of that. He's got broken horns, too. Like, oh, I see it. So I guess the sign for Fizzarolli, is that like the sign for clown? That they're sort of using specifically for... So, sign language is an object of particular fascination for me, because, like, I've talked at length before, right, about, like, lip syncing in the context of animation. Like, the importance of, like, and the difficulty and all of the craft that goes into forming, like, because you can do... Like, you think of something like the Phoenix Wright games. You can do a lip sync, like a lip flap animation that sort of looks like talking with basically just 3 frames, right? Which is like open mouth and then a mouth that has like a shape that's rounded forward, like it's producing a vowel sound, like an O, an R, E, and then like closed mouth. Like that's all you really need for a very, very, very basic lip sync cycle. And I've always wondered, like, in terms of sign language, like, how much can you stylize that? How much can you simplify that? How much can you remove in the name of, like, animation stylization and still keep it legible in the same way that, like, lip syncing is, like, with lip syncing in anime, right? You can just have the mouth open and close in more or less in time with the syllables that's being said, and that will read as the character is talking, but that's being aided by the audio delivery. Whereas when you have a language that is so strongly visual as sign language, like, how much can you stylize it? I would be curious to know from, I don't know if I have any deaf or hard of hearing or sign language speaking audience, but, like, is what the character is doing here legible as something you'd be able to understand as sign language? Like, is it based on anything real? Because clearly, like, when you're looking at, like, this guy's animated on, like, on 1s and 2s. Right? Especially the gestures that the kid is making are, like, these are very, very smoothly animated. And that's, like, the kind of thing that indicates to me that, first of all, they were trying to do something that is verisimilitudinous. Like, again, I don't know if this is literally American Sign Language, but they were trying to do something that is at least visually legible as being a form of sign language. And, like, which is readable as the distinct gestures that are necessary for sign language to communicate. I really... It's one of those subjects that's been in the back of my head for, like, years, that, like, I want to research that. I want to do a video about that at some point. Like, how the fuck do you do sign language in animation? Because, like, in 3D animation, there's performance capture, there's motion capture, there's all kinds of things you can do to just, like, capture actual sign language and then have the animators refine the performance in order to make it read from whatever angles that they need. 2D animation is a different story, because, as I understand sign language, it's also a 3-dimensional language, right? Sign language isn't, like, just a series of 2-dimensional gestures. It's not like letters. It is a 3-dimensional thing where it matters whether the hand is moving forward or to the side. It matters, like, how... Like, that's something I think is really fun. I'm off on a rant here. We're just going to be here for a while I talk about how cool sign language is. Sign language, like, they can do emphasis, they can do inflection on the way that they express what you can do inflection on what you're saying by altering like the intensity of how much you wiggle your hands, like how strong your gesture is, like how far out you're performing your gestures, like in the same way that I can do it, like I do it with my voice by shouting, by modulating downwards when I want to be a little bit more smooth and close. Like they can do that with their fucking gestures. And like, how do you translate that to animation? Like, how do you translate emphasis? How do you translate like the subtleties, the nuances of that kind of language to 2D animation? Like, that's so cool! Like, I want to know more about... I want to know. Like, it's... Because, like, language is fast. Like, because I consider, as a performer, right, like, which is what I'm doing, one of my instruments is my voice, right? I don't appear on camera. You can't see it, but I'm gesticulating like a fucking madman over here. My hands are all over the place, right? I am very animated, but I can't show you that because I don't appear on camera, right? One day I want to get like a VTuber model that's like actual full body tracking thing, but that's another thing. So in lieu of that, because I don't have my whole body to animate with, I like to use my voice. Like when I'm doing these reactions, you're getting my genuine reactions, yes, but I'm exaggerating wildly for your benefit by taking my voice higher, lower, by exaggerating my reactions so that you understand how I'm feeling in a way that like normally I would do with body language, right? I use my voice as an instrument in that way. And that's just for the parasocial thing. Yes, I'm performing a character here. Like don't imagine that you're getting close to the real me in any way, because this voice, this is an instrument. I use it as a tool. I'm very good at it. Whenever I perform an affect, yeah, it's not necessarily entirely real. Just so you know. Anyway, that's a fucking... What were we talking about? Where the fuck did I come from this? Right, sign language. Sign language is cool. It's really cool. I always get excited to see it in animation, especially in 2D animation, because that's hard. It's because that was the thing I was talking about. Right, I think I found a way to meander my way back to the point. The gestures of sign language, like the little variations in how you posture the hands, how expressively, how hard you do the gestures. People can whisper in sign language. They can whisper in sign language. That's so fucking cool. Like by modulating. And how the fuck do you do that as an animator? Like you would need, how do you train that skill? Because that's such a specific type of incredibly simple, nuanced performance that like, that's gotta be hard, but like, I wish there was more of it. I wish we got to see sign language in animation more, because in order to build up the institutional knowledge, like just like the fucking institutional knowledge of how to do sign language effectively in a visual depiction like that, people need to be doing it. Like people need to be practicing it and like sharing their findings and like. So good on Helluva Boss. Like for Helluva, because there isn't. To the best of my knowledge, there isn't really that many resources out there for animators on how do you properly portray sign language in 2D. Like, it's not like you can just go and take a fucking course, I think. So good on Helluva Boss for trying it. Like, that's, again, this thing, it's not trivial. It's not easy to do that. It's not easy to even try to portray sign language in 2D animation, because it's such a subtle and specific thing. So, like, fucking good on Helluva Boss for putting a character in who does that. That fucking rules. That's really fucking cool. Anyway, I guess we're about to get an insight into why it's so fucking important for Fizz to do this.
I hope you're...
Look how cool that is! Come on! Like, fucking, like, non-verbal communication just entirely, like, because everyone fucking creams their dicks over WALL-E, right? Because of, like, the first half of the movie is basically completely wordless, communicated entirely through, like, physical acting and silent acting. And that rules. It's the best part of the movie. It starts dragging a little bit once characters start talking. So, like, fucking sign language as a discipline, as a form of communication, like, it demands such a strong knowledge of body language, of performance, right? And that's another thing I really like about the way they've animated the characters. Like, the kid is clearly not just doing the hand thing, right? The kid is communicating with his facial expression. He's communicating with posture. Like, as he says, I want to be a clown just like you, he leans towards Fizz as well. Like, there's this lean in, like, emphasizing the connection. Right? And the same thing with the way Fizz performs the gestures, right? You can do anything you want to do. Like, that's the thing I said about emphasis, right? Like, again, I don't know sign language enough to parse this, but it seems to me like Fizz is emphasizing that. Like, you can do anything you want to do. Like, he's saying it with an emphasis. At least as far as I can read his character animation, right? Like, he's trying to say, you can do anything. He's not just trying to say, you can do anything you want to do. He's trying to say, you can do anything you want to do. He's trying to... Like, look how cool that is. That's the coolest shit. Again, this is partly just, like, I just like subtle acting and character design. And I feel like sign language is, like, kind of the peak of that because of the nuance that's available for sign language to engage with. And, like... So I just think that's so fucking cool. It's one of the things It's one of the things that nags at me, by the way. This is... Sorry, just to make it all about myself for a second here. I don't have subtitles. I don't have official subtitles on most of the videos that I make. And it bothers me. Like, YouTube has its auto transcription feature that mostly does a decent job, but I really want to get, like, proper, full professional stuff. Like, that's one of my ambitions. Like, I don't think I can afford it yet. I'm actually, I need to get an accountant to look at my books and shit to so I can better figure out what I have budgeting for, but I really want to have fucking proper subtitling on my videos because it's an accessibility tool that allows people to, like, not even just deaf people, like I have ADHD. That gives me audio processing problems. I need subtitles a lot of the time. Because, like, that's another thing is, like, I have always kind of wanted to learn sign language. I've just never been able to find the time. Because I feel like the world is better if more people can talk like that. Anyway, that's entirely unrelated. Let's watch the actual cartoon.
I hope you're excited for the big finale. Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, guess who that is?
Come again?
Your act is such fucking trash.
Yeah, just knew it was him. Knew it was him. Like, that's why you set that shit up, so that guy can come back. So that guy is acting as an embodiment of sort of Fizz's own internal insecurities here.
Always has been, except now I have to see your smug face plastered on everything, everywhere. And you can read all about it on my review blog. Fuck Fizz, but not in a sexy way.complainer.com.org.gov.
Again, and accurately observed, like, that's not necessarily always the same guy, but, like, the guy who, like, or girl, for that matter, who sort of, like, takes a rejection as, like, okay, my brand is now hating you, and I'm gonna try and build my own platform off of that. Yeah, no, every creator I know has a guy like that. I have a few. Hasn't worked for them, but, you know.
Well, anyway, folks.
But, like, if I ever get famous, like, there are people who've built their entire platforms off of, like, hating specific online celebrities. And it's like, if I ever get... I don't really want to get that. Like, 1 million subscribers is probably about as many as I'm comfortable with, because...
You're not even a clown anymore. All you do is work at that half-price sleaze joint, and then every year you come back here to put us through the same tired old routine. Is there a single original idea in that head? You fucking suck, and so do your products. Your sex bots can't even get me off right, you know.
There's another thing, right? Like, your sex bots can't even get me off, right? Again, that's where this thing of, like, the connection, like the commodification and the connection with humiliation, right? It's like, I hate you so much, I own all of your products, and I fuck your sex doll every night, right? Like, again, this is, like, my friends who do OF can sort of, like, recognize that particular character also. Because, like, yeah, that is also a kind of guy, like, who will sign up to an OF to, like, jerk off to someone's porn and then complain to them about how shit their porn is, but, like, will keep buying it over and over. Like, that's a specific kind of guy also.
What? Still think you're too good to even talk to me? Still gotta get this chump to stand in for you? You're fucking pathetic. To think what we could have been together if you hadn't been too up your... Too up your own ass to listen.
Yeah, one more word out of you, twat stain, and I'm gonna blow your head clean open in front of all these fucking kids.
You're not done with me, Fizzarolli.
Hey, whoa, you good?
Yeah, mate. You're right, Fizzy.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I don't like being seen like this.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll let the hotties go on before you. Give you some time to get your shit together. Get your shit together, Fizzy. You're a bloody legend.
Oh, there's the spider eyes.
You're a bloody legend, you bitch!
Oh, shit, that guy got to you, didn't he? You know, you don't have to...
I do, Blitz. I do.
Oh, that's a... Oh, okay. I get...
Fucking hell, Fizz,
Let's
this
just
is
let
stupid. That clown...
Let's just let the view scroll by that for a second. So the setup here is the understandable thing, right? That, like, with that little encounter with the fan, like the kid who actually loves him, the kid who actually gets, like, a sense of hope, a sense of joy, an earnest appreciation for who Fizz is and what he does. Like, that's the fuel, right? Like, clearly that's the thing that gives Fizz his drive, his confidence, his love of doing what he does. And you can see that, right? Like, the moment after he has the interaction with the fan, boom! Hope you're excited for the big finale! Like, instantly the energy is there, right? The smile is there. The love of the game is there. Like, the performance comes out immediately. Like, so this is the thing that powers him, right? Like, and that's probably what he's fixated on, of, like, I have to go up there, because if I don't do this, if I can't provide that, if I can't make people happy in that way, cleaning product, I guess, then, like, what am I worth? Like, why am I even doing, like, what is even the point and purpose of that? And again, it's like, I don't like being seen like that by a show. Very much. Thank you. Because, like, again, making this all about myself, like, because I am the most interesting person on Earth, it's... Again, don't want to say too much, but, like, I do get messages from people who are, like, occasionally, Like, your videos got me through a dark time, kind of. Those sorts, like, very dark times sometimes. Those sorts of messages, right? And that scares the piss out of me, frankly. Like, it frightens me to be that important, like, to have that kind of importance to anyone. But it's also like, well, shit, like, maybe what I do is worth something, right? Like, maybe what I do isn't just me fucking around like an asshole on the internet, right? Maybe this provides some value to the world, to people's lives. Maybe I'm actually doing something that's more than just relentless self-indulgence and shilling for a Patreon, right? That, like, if what I do can actually have a material effect on improving someone's life, even if it's only ephemeral, like, even if it's only, like, you're happier for, like, the 20 minutes that you spend watching some of my shit, right? Then it doesn't always feel quite as bad to think of this as my job, right? Like, to think of this as something that's worth something. So, like, I get it, Fizz. Like, truly, honestly, I do. But then there's the balance of that, right? Like, it's... if doing that job means you have to shill for Raid Shadow Legends, right? If doing that job means you have to sell every part of yourself, like, at what point, where's the balance in that? And the trouble with that is I don't have an answer to that. It's like, where's the balance? I don't fucking know. No one knows. I don't know a single person who knows. And that's, like, There's a non-zero chance that I will do a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship someday, because they offer a lot of money, and this job doesn't come with a pension. Like, I'm working on the razor's edge here in terms of, like, saving anything for a future. And where the fuck is the balance of that? Like, how much of your soul can you sell without like, killing yourself? I don't know. I don't know what the line is. Like, clearly it's... I think I'll draw the line before they start making sex toys out of my asshole. Probably at some point before that is when I'll say stop. But I don't know exactly where. Right? It's like... There's a... This fucking comes to mind. This local 7-Eleven down by the place, like, rail station where I live. It has an ad on it. Like, a little sticker ad in the window for... Mr. Beast branded something or other. Like Mr. Beast Bites, Feast, whatever. Like, whatever, one of the fucking products that guy hawks, right? And the picture they have of him there, like the picture of him holding up the product and smiling, it's just the most dead-eyed, vacant, like, there's nothing there. Like, just the stiffest, most unnatural, uncanny, bizarre... dead-eyed smile I have ever seen. I don't understand why they put it on marketing material. And, like, every time I go past there and I see that, I kind of go, I don't care how much money he makes. I don't ever want to look like that. Like, holding up something and promoting it with that expression on my face. And, like, I don't know. Like, maybe it's a bit. Maybe it's part of his brand. I don't know, fucking know. But, like, the deadness and the absolute absence of personhood in that picture, that's my nightmare. Like, that's my nightmare about being a youth, is, like, to end up like a fucking Mr. Beast type. Of, like, just... the only thing that seems to matter, the only thing that seems to have any valence or relevance is... like, the influencing, and the branding, and the selling, and the... like, that's... I'll never get there. Like, there's no risk of me becoming like Mr... Don't you worry your little heads. I will never be that popular. I have made sure of that. But it is the nightmare, right? It's the nightmare to be in that position of... because, like... again, I don't know Mr. Beast. I have no personal... like, I only know that he makes videos and he was recently outed for having some real shit working conditions and some of his reality garbage. I don't know about him. I don't care about him that much. But, like, what I'm feeling here from this, like, feeling personally targeted here from this episode is, like, that push and pull of, like, I make something that actually matters to people. Like, people look forward to the next episode of Boss Designs of whatever, right? 500 people are watching me react to a cartoon right now. What the fuck, right? And, like, I saw people on my Discord server. You people were excited for it. You were waiting for it. You were discussing, like, oh, I can't wait till he gets to this bit and that bit. And, like, that weighs on me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. There's no way for it not to. There simply isn't. You can't have 500 people be excited to sit you watch and jab and gab about a fucking cartoon and not feel a little bit like, oh, I need to put on a good show here. Like, I can't be tired today. I can't not be feeling it today. I've got to go on. Like, this has to happen right now, because like a lot of people, like some people were like moving their work shifts around and shit to be ready for this, and it's like, oh, okay. I've said many times I don't want to let this channel become work, but like at some point, you know, it's like there's a limit to how many of you guys I can let down on this, I think. Which is not in the sense, I never feel pressured by any of you, I will say. You've all been very good about it. A few commenters notwithstanding, you know who you are. Well, you don't know who you are, because I've blocked you and I will never see a single word you write to me ever again. I've never felt pressured. I don't feel like you people are forcing me into anything. I'm an adult. I can take care of myself. Don't like be like, oh my god, we've pressured. No. I'm an adult. I do this. I make my own choices, right? All of this to say, I feel Fizz here. Like, Blitz is right, but like, I get it. I get it, kiddo. Like, I get why it all feels like it's important enough to be worth your soul. I get why it all feels like you should take on the humiliation and the pain, because sometimes you get to be a hero to a kid like that little. I completely understand why that is worth it to him. I completely get it. What I will say is also, you don't need Mammon for that necessarily. I mean, and that's rich coming from me. I post my videos on fucking YouTube. Like, oh, right, you're gonna judge Fizz for being enslaved to an evil corporate overlord? Really, Skyn? Is that what you're doing right now, Mr. TB Skyn? Mr. on YouTube TB Skyn? Mr. streams on Twitch sometimes for Jeff Bezos TB Skyn? Are you really gonna be like that? But it's like, it is the truth, though. Like, there are ways, like, to not be as tangled up in that shit. And I wonder how that's going to result. Like, I'm personally invested in this storyline now a lot more than I thought I was going to be. Well, shit, okay.
Clown shit is not this important.
This job is. Without it, I'll lose everything.
Seriously, that guy is a fucking dick, and he's using you for everything. Because you're likable, and he's a fucking trash fire.
No, he's not. He's just trying to make me good enough.
Good enough for what?
That's the question, right? By the way, ma'am? Yeah, character, like, just fucking good-ass fucking character designs, man. Look at that! That's a fucking character! I know, it's tiresome, but I'm never gonna stop gushing about it. It's just refreshing. Like, I watch a lot of anime, right? And like, anime with background characters have like, understandably, because they work on budgets, they don't have time, they don't have the resources to do that. Completely understandably, but like, it's just nice to be able to stop a crowd scene and like everything looks like a person. Like, that looks like someone who has a thing to them that's unique from all other people. It's just nice. Oh, am I about to get copyright claimed? Again, people are going to be having some very intense gender about this. For my money, yeah, like the colored line work is a really good idea. I don't know that it 100% works for everything here. I feel like sometimes it muddles up the motion of what's being done a little bit, but it is visually pretty fucking striking, I will say. Like, it works really well, like the colored line work in combination with something like this edge lighting right here. And like the gradients up along the volume is like, that shit works really fucking well. I'm not 100% sure about like, I think there are parts of it that probably should have been kept black lined for legibility. That's not a substantial criticism. This is just me sort of like, also this fucking shot, like, again. So, okay, so we've talked about this before, but like Helluva Boss has been Hotel. This entire animation style is very hyper flat in a lot of ways, right? Like, it's very, very stylized. It's very, very flattened. It's sort of, it's a little bit similar to something like the Batman cartoon, like the old one from the 90s. God, the retro Batman cartoon from the 90s. I'm old. That also had this very, like, Bruce Timm, like, very stylized, very hyper flat aesthetic thing. But then sometimes the animators just do shit like this. Like, look at that gorgeous foreshortening, like the twist of the arm, the volume on that arm, right? Because, like, you can see, like, the musculature, right? Like, the volume, the musculature on this arm, while that arm over there remains hyper flat, like, remains this completely flattened, hyper stylized, like, very non-voluminous thing. This arm that's reaching into the frame has all of the musculature sort of outlined with like these bulges and like this, all of this like foreshortening into itself and into each other, and it looks natural. And again, that's not really trivial. That is kind of a difficult thing to do well in a way that doesn't end up looking uncanny, right? Like, you can see how this arm has a very different, like, that's just like a really nice, impressive little piece of animation. That's a cool visual hook for the characters, like their little twin shtick. I wonder what fish specifically they're based on. I feel like I recognize some parts of what they've got going on, but which fish it is specifically, I wouldn't know. But okay, so we are doing a red Oni, blue Oni thing here, right? Like, where the one sister is like the more sort of slick, smooth siren singer who's all identified in blue. And then we have the other sister who's like more loud, more aggressive, who has like does the rapping thing, and then like as she touches down, the whole color scheme switches like from this blue to like this orange, this red, warm, passionate.
I'm a clown, bitch. Fix up your clown, bitch.
I gotta say, clowning has changed somewhat since the last time I went to the circus. Because this seems a little bit more like you're trying to be pop stars than clowns, but okay. Again, here we're using the hyper flatness again as like a hyper stylized element. And it works really well with this character design. I will say, like, I felt, when I first saw them, I felt like they were a little bit overloaded with detail. Like, I felt like it was maybe a little bit, like, too much to read cleanly. But, like, they're managing it really well in this sequence. Oh, wait, I think like hour and a bit ago, people were asking me, hey, you should probably finish the songs before you stop them and start breaking down the animation. I forgot about that. that flew straight out of my skull. I could not maintain that concentration for 2 seconds.
With the passions, wanna something funny, slutty, body to the masses. Feeling lonely on a Saturday night. Well, money can't buy happiness, but it can let you paradise. Give in to temptation. Take your time, I'll be patient. Be my little piggy, let me scratch your dirty itch. I'm a clown, bitch. It's a profound bitch. Give me the clown, bitch. You hear the sound, you're going down. 'Cause I'm a clown, bitch.
The choreography here is very well designed as well, I think. Like, all of the interaction with them, right? Like, where they're really playing up the double gimmick of, like, them mirroring each other's movements. This is so fucking horny, too. Like, what? Are we not in the greed circle? Like, hang on. This feels a little bit more like something that should be put on at Aussies. But, like, it kind of feels like a thing of, like, well, Fizz, maybe you should just let them have it. Because, like, it seems like they could be a lot happier doing that than you could. Oh, she's flashing her... Yeah, of course she is. Like, this little dance number here... Okay, I was curious about that. So they have chosen... This is something that's interesting. Well, it's interesting to me. I don't know about anyone else, but, you know, my self-indulgence is what we're here for. So they move on exactly the same timing, right? Like, completely in sync with one another. And that's a specific choice, because, like, normally, and we've talked about this a million times before, if you want something to feel smooth, right? This is something I talked about, like, way back when the first KDA music video was released, right? The animators, who were Studio Fortiche, by the way, made a point during the dance sequences that even though the characters were performing exactly the same choreography, they would be a little bit, just a tiny bit out of time with each other, right? And that's partly because of 3D animation, they're going for, like, a real feeling of, like three-dimensional verisimilitudinous, right? Like, verisimilitude, rather. Of, like, they really wanted it to feel like sort of not realistic, but real, right? And the reality is, of course, like, no two people can ever be perfectly in sync with one another. It's physically impossible. Human beings are, like, imperfect meat engines of like, electrical impulses and chemicals. So there's a specific choice being made here to have them be 100% perfectly in sync with one another. Where, like, you could do it differently. You could have them move on slightly offset animation timings, and sort of give a little bit more of that... Again, not realistic as such, but more realistic feeling to their motion and movement. But a very specific choice is being made here to synchronize them absolutely perfectly with one another. Which I think is in part, like to make them, like, as machine-like in sync with one another as possible, to sort of emphasize their power, because this is their power song, right? Like, this is them being like, this is the height of our powers, we're intimidating, we're threatening, Fizz is having trouble seeing how he could possibly stand up to us. Like, this is their villain song. This is them at the height of the threat that they pose to the conflict that we have within our protagonists, right? And I think that's probably why they chose to do that. And also because, like, so much of their choreography is centered around that particular synchronization. And the reason I bring it up is because, and we get some bit corruption here that's a little bit annoying, because here you can see that they do finally break out of sync a little bit and move a little bit on different timings. Right? So that's the thing that proves to me that, like, choosing to have them perfectly synchronized is a specific artistic choice. Like, they specifically wanted that pitch-perfect, like, machine-like, clock-like synchronization. For the choreography here. I will also say, like, this little cut to like the blacklight thing as we head down to like a slightly slower pace, and we're like really playing with the lighting effects. That also feels a little KDA to me. Like that feels maybe a little bit like it took a thing or two from the Pop Stars music video. But yeah, it also come like the KDA music video in turn also took its inspiration from a lot of like other music videos that came before. So it's not like, I'm not saying that they're like, oh, they're ripping off, like, no. They're taking, like, they're drawing the same kind of inspiration, right?
Take your time, I'll be patient. Be my little piggy, let me scratch your toe.
Yeah, this is gorgeous animation work. It really is. I wonder the background characters, right? There must be some animators inserting their OCs back here. Like, there's a Homestuck imp back here somewhere. I swear to God. Somewhere in one of these crowd scenes, there's gonna be a Homestuck imp. I'm sure someone has found one.
Okay, Fizz, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. It's okay. It's fine.
I haven't had a lot of chances to be on stage in front of a lot of people, so I don't have that much experience with this kind of direct stage fright. But
You have a show to do soon. It's fine. Oh, no.
That's a panic attack.
It's okay. You're fine. You need to be fine.
So this, okay. So we saw this at the end of the last episode, right? Asmodeus was trying, hey, are you okay? Are you fine? Like, do you need, like, and Fizz was being, of course I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm a clown. I'm a jester. I get over things quick. You know me. There's no problem. Like, he was already doing that in the last episode, so that's already a part of his characterization, right? Like saying, you need to be fine because other people are depending on you, which is like, yeah, it's like, actually, if other people are depending on you, you need to be real fucking crystal clear about when and where your needs are. Because if other people are depending on you, they need you to be at your best, and you can't be okay if you don't have any boundaries.
Fizz, are you okay?
Why does everyone keep asking me that? You shouldn't be here, Asmodeus. I'm fine. Please.
Froggy.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
He's the most fine. He's so fine. No one's ever been more fine in their lives than he is. He's so okay. That's why he keeps saying that he's fine. It's like, that's how you know that someone's fine, is when they keep saying it. Like when they just keep saying it over and over again. That's the number one indication that someone is totally good and you don't need to be concerned about them. Just so you know, just that little top tip for you out there. Like if someone is insisting over and over again that they're okay, that they're not bothered, and the thing hasn't, like the thing that recently occurred does not bother them at all, that is definitely a sign that they're okay, and don't worry about it.
Just needed a minute.
You aren't okay. You're shaking.
Oz, I'm about to go on for the finale. I need some time to mentally prepare.
Fizz, come on. I'm trying to talk to you. You can't force yourself to...
Oz, I have to do this. This could be my last chance to prove I'm still good at this, that it's not over, that I'm still good enough. It's not just Mammon. I'm fine. I just need to be better.
You think you need to be this perfect model performer, but that's because Mammon is always forcing that image onto you.
That's another thing, by the way. This thing about you need to be perfect, you need to be flawless, you need to be always there. You like, that's image management, and that's another thing that, like, again, I'm not so deep into influencer culture to have like that strong of an opinion on it, but like, I know enough people who've worked in there that like, yeah, no, that pressure is there from like agents, promoters, managers. Like, you need to be perfect. Like, you need to have a perfect image. You need to have the perfect take. on everything that happens. You need to post the perfect picture, to comment on current events. You need to, like, that pressure to never show a flaw. It's something that's especially prevalent with Instagram influencers. I know, like, people who like make their living like selling product, like makeup influencers get this a lot, for example, where their ability to sell products relies on their ability to project an image of having their shit together all of the actual fucking time, constantly, permanently. And if they ever show vulnerability, that vulnerability has to be curated in a very specific, palatable way that the audience can digest and absorb as part of the branding, right? Like, it can't be... You can't show imperfection in the sense that it often happens in real life, that if you have, like, an anxiety disorder, or, like me, for example, like severe untreated ADHD for a long time, my apartment looked like shit for a long time. Like, I have lived in some filth because ADHD is a disability that, among other things, severely affects your ability to take care of yourself. It affects your ability to take care of your immediate environment, right? And that shit isn't charming. Like, that's like a person not showering for like a couple of weeks properly, like just like kind of like washing under their armpits or whatever, and like washing their crotch over the sink or whatever, because their brain has for some fucking reason decided that you can't shower right now. Like, just decided at random, like, you can't handle showering, doing something else, fine, right? And that's not charming. That's not fun. That's not like, that's not something you want to put online ever, or be vulnerable about. And it's gross, and it's unhygienic, and like it's like inconsiderate of other people in a way that's not okay, right? Like, oh, you have a disability, poor little bee. No, it's not okay. You have a responsibility to take care of, like, your hygiene and, like, the way that you live for the sake of other people as well. And there is a real pressure, like, Capital does this. Like, that was the thing I was teeing off on. Like, Capital does this. Capital enforces this cleanliness of image, right? Like, Capital needs you to be perfect at all times for everything, because that's how they make their money, right? Is on selling that particular image, that particular vision of aspiration. That's why I brought up makeup influencers, right? Like, makeup influencers have to have clear skin. All the fucking time they have to have clear skin. Right? If they have a blemish, it needs to be a small little blemish that can be taken care of with a little bit of foundation. Like, severe cystic acne in a total outbreak, not good for the image, right? They can't have bodies that are, like, fat a lot of the time. Like, I don't know exactly what like, I think there's different niches and markets within the makeup influencer industry, but, like, there is this pressure to portray, like, you can have flaws, but only certain kinds of flaws, only certain marketable flaws, only certain marketable problems. And those problems can't, like, be uncomfortable or disgusting or revolting in any way, because, like, that, so, like, yeah, like, that's what Capital does with the things that it wants to exploit, is that it takes them and it forces them into this very specific, hyper-idealized image of beauty and perfection. Right, like, that's a thing that happens. Like, not just in the influencer industry. That's just where I have any experience at all. I don't know about traditional celebrity and it so much in that sense. Like, Mammon wants Fizz to be perfect all the time because, yeah, that makes more money for him. He does not give a shit about, like, Fizz being okay, or Fizz like being able to perform, or for any of this to be sustainable. He gives a shit about Fizz. Fizz is perfect right now, so he makes a bunch of money right now, and then I guess, like, if he breaks, that's because he's weak, and that's not a problem with me. That's because he wasn't good enough, right? And Fizz has clearly internalized that, right? Like, if I can't live up to this impossible standard that's being pushed on me by someone who makes money from that standard being upheld, then that's the judgment that I'm not good enough at what I do, right? And that's grim. Again, I'm feeling a little seen here. Like, I've not been affected by this so much, like, because I don't appear on camera, right? Like, and not gonna lie, the fact that I have severe untreated ADHD and I've lived in filth for many years and my room is rarely clean, my office is rarely particularly tidy, it's a part of the reason why I don't appear on camera, right? Like, I don't always look like I've had a haircut in the last 9 months or so. I don't want to style my fucking beard.
But everything I have is because of Mammon. I have this life, I have security. I have you. Without Mammon, I wouldn't have... I have to win this.
Fizzy.
I don't want to lose. Because I feel like if I lose this, I lose you.
How would you lose me? Come on, Froggy.
You're with me because of who I am at my best. I'm barely worthy of working with a king of sin because this is who I am.
Let me just... hang on. Where is it? There it is. Let me just... Yeah, I thought so. The episode made a point out of not letting him be seen without the hat. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Which is the thing, right? Like, Fizz has this thing, I am my damage, right? Like, the damage is what and who I am, right? And I can cover that up with a bunch of different shit, but I am my damage, right? Like, I am the worst day that ever happened to me. Like, and that's the totality of me, and everything else is a put-on, is a costume, is a... you know... Hence, the desperation not to let the foundation fade, right? And damage isn't marketable. You can't make money off of damage. Well, you can, but that's in some ways even worse. But Mammon can't make money off of damage. Of being damaged goods. And yeah, I mean, I've never gone through something so traumatic as to have like a disfigurement or any kind of like visible disability in that sense. So I can't speak to like how accurate this is to how people who've gone through that kind of thing feels, but it feels emotionally real for the character, right? Like that was the worst day he has ever had in his entire life because he lost everything. He lost the circus. He lost his best friend. Right? Desperately, deeply traumatized. So every time he sees that damage, like, he's right back there, right? Would be my assumption is, like, that, like, it's a visible reminder and mark of, like, the worst and the lowest that he's ever been in his entire life. The most alone, right? That he's ever been in his entire life. So it makes sense that he would be desperate to be away from it, right? To not be that ever again. Broken, burnt, alone, abandoned, on the ground with nothing and no one. Like, that, yeah. That's understandable. And that's a hell of a fucking thing to have to come to terms with. Right, and that's the frustration that Fizz has here, right? Like, it's... And there's definitely a parallel there between Glitz and Stolas. Like, not an equivalence, but a parallel, right? That, like, Fizz has that exact same... If I can't provide this thing, if I can't give this thing, right? Like, if I don't have that, like, that craft, like, for Blitz is, like, selling his body, is like, Stolas just wants a big dick to pound him, right? It's just a kink thing. He doesn't want me for anything other than this thing. Fizz kind of seems to have a version of the same trauma, right? Like, a version of that same thing of, like, I can only have this. I can only maintain this position. I can only be worth love. I can only be worth loving so long as I perform this, right? So long as I can do and give this forever, right? And the moment I can't anymore is the moment I lose my value, is the moment I'm no longer worth loving. And like that, there's a dark, and again, let's make it all about me again. Yeah, because I'm the most important person in the world. There's a relationship there also with like if my videos aren't good anymore, then where does my self-worth go? I have other sources of self-worth. This is something I've worked very hard on, trying to decouple myself from my work. But still, there's like a real, oh, that two videos underperformed in a row. I think I may be a worthless loser, right? Like that thing is there. And again, like this is something like in YouTube, right? When you open up YouTube Studio, there's a little tab that sort of ranks the videos you've done next to all of the 10 previous videos you've done and whether they're better or worse, or like how they're ranking and how much of the views are. And if the views on your video are down, right, like if you have a video that does fewer views than they usually do, there will be little labels in YouTube like, your video is doing worse than usual. Some of the reasons may be like the topic wasn't as interesting to viewers clicked away fast. Like they will give you all of the reasons why this video that you've made is shit and no one liked it and no one wanted to watch it and you've done a terrible job, right? Like that is all over YouTube systems. That is all over the way that YouTube treats and handles analytics, right? And it drives content creators fucking insane. I think you can all probably think of a creator who's like spiraled down into like worse and worse, like more and more sort of commercially viable, boring videos. And then eventually they completely fucking burn out and disappear. It's like, yeah, the systems that are inherent in YouTube itself encourage that behavior and encourage that pattern of behavior, because the systems are optimized to emphasize only the data that makes YouTube more money, right? And so, like, parallel to how Mammon treats Fizz, right? Like, Mammon emphasizes the virtues and the needs and the wants and the behavior and the posture and the emotions from Fizz that are useful and valuable to him, right? And if Fizz doesn't perform those things to Mammon's standards, then Mammon will say, well, you've fallen off. You've gotten worse. You're not as good at this as you used to be. You're not as valuable or worthwhile as you used to be, because Mammon is deciding the terms of what gets to be valuable, right? Like what gets to be useful, what gets to be seen as worthy, right? And YouTube does much the same thing through the systems that it has. It tries to define for people who use it what matters, what's valuable, what is worth emphasizing, like what is worth caring about, stochastically through the systems, the data that it chooses to emphasize and make available, right? Because one thing, again, I'm the most important person in the world, we're still talking about me. Like I said, I've gotten some messages from people saying that the stuff I've made has helped them through some like grim times in their lives. And it's often not the thing that got the most views. Like, often it's not the thing that was like, oh, that thing popped off or whatever, or made a lot of ad money. A lot of them are videos that, like, I made because, like, oh, shit, I want to talk about this. I know it's going to do bad in the algorithm, but this, like, I just need to get this shit out there because I have ADHD and I can't unfocus from a fixation once it's in my head. And those are the ones that, like, I've gotten messages about, like, people say, shit, that was actually important and valuable to me. And YouTube doesn't measure that. YouTube doesn't give a shit. Like, that doesn't matter to the platform. It can't use that as a metric of, like, how important was this video to someone, right? Like, how much value did you bring to someone else's life? How much entertainment? Like, did you make someone feel less alone for a while? It doesn't measure that. It doesn't value that. Those things don't exist in the realm of YouTube's statistics, right? So it doesn't care about that. And it's the same thing we see with Fizz, right? Like, the thing that actually matters to him, the thing that actually made him happy for a second was the kid who, like, earnestly just wanted to see his hero and was so happy, like, to get to interact with him and, like be encouraged by him. That's the thing that made Fizz happy for a second, like, made him genuinely joyful. But Mammon doesn't care about that because Mammon can't monetize it. That doesn't matter to him. Like, what matters, does the kid have a lot of pocket money to fork over? And if not, then that interaction is worthless, right? That interaction doesn't matter. That interaction has no valence. It has no relevance to the success of the product. And Fizz has been stuck in that mindset, right? Like, he has been convinced that the thing that matters is pleasing the algorithm, right? Like, the thing that matters is getting the numbers. the thing that matters is the view count and like the ad revenue and the sponsorships. Even though he knows emotionally that it's not what it is, right? Ugh. It's, yeah, nah, ow. I don't like being seen.
Want to lose. Because I feel like if I lose this, I lose you.
How would you lose me? Come on, Froggy.
You're with me because of who I am at my best. I'm barely worthy of working with a king of sin because this is who I am.
Poor Fizz. Like, and that explains the people pleasing, right? That explains why he was so desperate for, after he had been captured and nearly murdered by a bunch of kidnappers, he was so desperate for like, hey, I'm okay, don't worry about me, everything's fine, Mammon, I'm not traumatized, don't worry about it, everything's cool, don't be unhappy in any way, shape, or form because of me, right? Because I'm not worth it, right? Because if I make you unhappy in some way, then I'm no longer worth it, right? I'm no longer worth being with. I'm not earning my place in this relationship. I'm not earning my place at your side. Because he sees himself as ruined goods, right? As damaged, as a destroyed thing, right? A broken toy. Which again is like Mammon objectifies Fizz relentlessly, literally turning him into objects. And, like, you can see that Fizz has kind of adopted... It seems that Fizz has kind of adopted that same mindset about himself. Ugh. That's grim.
Without all this, I'm just nothing. And Mammon made me this. I owe it all to him.
Fizz, Mammon didn't do shit. You already were this. You'd be this no matter what. You are the most inspiring demon I've ever known. And meeting you was the best thing that ever happened to me. I adore your inventiveness, your attitude, your resilience. And you're just the cutest little thing alive. Also, you are a way better performer than Mammon ever was. And that's just facts.
It's hard, you know, to trust that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yep. Yes, it is. Yep. Mm-hmm. People say very nice things to me a lot. I don't believe you for a second. Which is very rude of me. Like, it is... Like, that kind of insecurity, like, once that's deep in your bones, you become a rude asshole, like, without meaning to, because people will tell you earnestly nice things that they enjoy about your work, and inside of yourself, you kind of go, yeah, they're lying. They are liars. They're lying to my face. That can't possibly be true. Right? Which is rude. That is a very cruel way to think about other people's kindness. It is a very mean-spirited thing to think about other people, but you don't perceive it as that. Because you think, oh no, they're being nice to me, right? Like, you think you're thinking highly of them. You think you're thinking, oh, they're very generous, they're so kind, they're being so indulgent, like they're pretending, they're hiding their real feelings in order to spare mine. Oh, aren't they nice people? They're so much better than me. But what you're actually doing is you're calling them all dishonest assholes. And that's rude. That's cruel. And that's really hard to internalize, right? Like that, hey, sometimes if you actually thought highly of them, if you actually respected them, you would believe them when they tell you something. Difficult thing to internalize, right? That's a very hard thing to get through your head. So yeah, like, again, I don't have the damage that Fizz has. I've never been blown up in a circus. Yet. Not yet. You know, I've still got some years in me. Who knows? Maybe we can arrange that. But, like, if you are in a mindset of, like, I am only worthy so long as I perform, so long as my performance is perfect, you hyperfixate on every imperfection that you have, which you're gonna have. And because you can see all your flaws are crystal clear to you because you spend all of your time thinking about them and worrying about them and feeling insecure about them, it's impossible to believe that other people can't see them too. It's impossible to believe that I know everything that's wrong with me in such intimate detail. It's the most obvious thing in the world. Everyone else must see it. There's no way they don't see it. And if they see it, that must mean that if they're nice to me, they're lying. Right? Because, like, I wouldn't be this nice to me. If I met me, I'd fucking hate me. Which, again, remember Blitz? Like, yeah, no, it's thick. It is very, very, very hard to internalize. Like, again, I am completely in sympathy. Like Fizz is wrong here, right? Like, he's in the wrong. Ozzy is being honest with him. Ozzy is telling him the truth. And by refusing to accept that, he's kind of being cruel to him. Like, that's a emotionally difficult position to put your partner in when you won't believe them when they say they love you. That is hard to deal with. That can hurt a lot. So he's in the wrong here, but all of my sympathy, baby boy, like that. No, I know. I
love you so much, Ozzy.
And I love you too, Fizzarolli. And I would, whether you win this bullshit or not.
Well, I kind of spent my whole warm-up having a panic attack.
Crooked heart, crooked grin. You're a crooked, horny, freaky little joker.
You're a deadly sin.
And I don't want to hear another goddamn word about when. Oh, I think you're messy, but I'm messy too. No, I wouldn't clean a thing when I ended up with you.
I don't know why you waste your time on me.
Baby, all I got is time.
When there's so much I'll never be.
Holy shit, babe. There's so much you can't see.
What can't I see? Oh,
you're a broken record. Don't you ever shut your crooked little lips.
What do you want me to do with my lips? Oh, you sure are lucky. You make my crooked heart do freaky little flips.
You make my crooked heart do froggy little flips.
Ribbit.
You're gonna listen to me now, bitch!
Oh, so you two are an item.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, Blitz. Sometimes I wish I could do that. That's a non-actionable threat. I do love the complete unabashed earnest romanticism of this, right? Like the light comes up and like this fade to this soft focus, like everything gets pastel colored all of a sudden. Like we just fully fade into like the most soppy, romantic, like sweet treacle. I do like that. I like that a lot. Because if you're gonna do something like this, if you're gonna do a fucking, like a musical interlude like that, you gotta commit. Like, you gotta go 100%. I said it's the same thing, like, with, it starts with Sorry from Has Been Hotel, right? Like, that is such a saccharine, sweet, like, just like a little, like, oh, like a Saturday morning cartoon special, fucking Disney ass. Such a little sweet ditty. It's like, it starts with sorry, cling, cling, that's your foot in the door. Like, and the only reason shit like that works is if it cannot be ironic. You cannot be grinning at the camera. You cannot be winking. You cannot be rolling your eyes. You cannot be doing that thing from Moana, right? Like when Moana is sort of staring into the middle distance, the ocean chose me for a reason. If you start singing, I'm gonna... You can't do that. You can't roll your eyes. You can't wink at the audience. This shit, you have to commit to it 110 billion%. Otherwise, it will never work. And for some people, it won't work, right? Like, not everyone's gonna get taken in by this or feel that, like, it's earnest or whatever. But if you don't commit, then no one will. Like, then it just will not ever land, and no one will remember it or care about it. I do like that they fully fucking commit to it. like with the fucking like the shoujo manga, like soft lighting bokeh effect fading over the camera, and like the soft little gestures. Like the fucking guy doing whatever the fuck that is. Whatever the fuck that walk is. That little, like, because it's like a playful, silly, ridiculous gesture, right? And you can see that Fizz is in on it, right? Like, he knows it's coming. It's like, ooh, I'm gonna get you. Ooh, I'm gonna get you. It's like, oh, ah! Because they're playing. They're playing a game, right? Expression alert. Like with the little fucking arched back and that little tail sort of beckoning cutely. Like, if you don't do it 110 billion%, it doesn't work. It'll never work. And it's so... like, it is gross, right? Like, it's grossly romantic. In like the traditional sense of being overwhelming, right? Like, it's so much, but if it wasn't... if it wasn't, then I would be annoyed. Like, then I would feel turned off. Because, like, it's the thing about believing in something, right? Oh. Okay. That was just there. It's about believing in something, right? Like, it's the affect, the tone, and that's one of the problems that Marvel movies have, right? Like, sort of to bring it back to the cultural juggernaut that's dominating the cultural conversation, right? One of the problems that Marvel movies have is that they have established this affect of always rolling their eyes a little bit at themselves, right? And that was very successful back in like the 2010s, like the very early days of the MCU, when it's like, oh, superhero movies or thing. Like, the cultural zeitgeist, like the feeling in the culture was that this is a little bit silly, and so the Marvel movies sort of leaned into that and so yeah, Tony Stark, like, ironic how he's doing like Robert Downey Jr.'s asides to the camera sort of thing. Like, we're being self-aware about the silliness of what's going on, and like we're sort of all playing together in the same space. But then that became like, oh, that's what the Marvel brand is that we do these silly things where we break the tone and we break the sincerity of our moments so as not to accidentally convince the audience to actually care about what happens to any of our characters. And now that they're trying, like, that's part of the problem with them trying to enter phase 468 or whatever the fuck they're on right now, is that because they've had that affect the whole time, no one gives a shit about the Marvel Cinematic Universe anymore. Right? It's like people don't have that deep emotional connection. Like, very much in contrast, like I said this with the Has Been Hotel reviews, right? That this show, Helluva Boss, Has Been Hotel, it's not for everyone. Not everyone is going to be into this. Not everyone is going to have joy out of this. Not everyone's going to have fun with it, right? Like, there's a lot of people who get turned off by the juvenile humor. They get turned off by the dicks and the cocks. They get turned off by the specific, like, character design style, the sort of perceived edginess of it. They get turned off by a lot of the things that are in there for completely understandable reasons. But for the people who are into it, as you people in chat can probably attest to, for the people who are into it, for whom this really is their thing, that touches on their interests, their needs, their wants, their damage, their trauma, it's one of the most important things on earth for them. Like, it's really important. People have invested a lot of themselves into this. And the reason why is because it's always this earnest, right? Like, it's full of dick jokes, it's full of cum, it's full of, like, nonsense, it's full of blood and guts and, like, dildo juggling and all of that. But when it has an actual emotional point that it wants to communicate, when it has an actual thing that it cares about, it commits to it, right? Like, this is a ridiculous rooster character in, like, a purple Tumblr sexy man suit, like, romancing a fucking Tumblr sexy man jester clown character, but the show believes in it 100%, right? Like, no. This is not, we're not winking at the camera. These characters are in love, and they love each other deeply and sincerely with all of their fucking hearts. And, like, all of their damage is real. All of their trauma is real. All of their issues are real. Like, no part of this is affected, right? That's why it gets to be so important for the people who are touched by it, right? That's why people get so fucking into it. And, like, some people get too much into it. Let's not be unclear about this. I've seen some of the discourse that sort of floats around these fandoms. Like, some people, maybe there's a degree less seriously you could take it. Maybe you could make it just a smidgen less important to you. That might be healthy for everyone. But the reason why it gets to be this important is because when the show does something like this, right, it means it. It's not winking to the camera. It's not saying, isn't this silly? No, it's saying, no, these characters are in love. They're singing a romantic love song to each other. And there's not a moment of this that's not entirely fucking sincere. And you can cringe at that. Absolutely. Like plenty of people do. But they're going to do a Beauty and the Beast waltz scene around a carpet that's decorated with hearts, in soft lighting, while singing to each other. And it expects you to take that completely seriously as part of, like, the diegesis and the narrative of the show. By the way, I really like the way they animate Asmodeus' face and mouth when he sings. Like, when he talks, even. Like, the fact that they can just kind of split his head open as far as they want to sort of, like, emphasize his emoting, and like that he doesn't really have a facial anatomy, right? Like, he doesn't really have a jaw, he doesn't really have anything, so you can just kind of morph his face into whatever shape you want. That allows the animators a lot of really fun freedom. They're also really good about, like if you pay attention to posture and S-curve, especially on Asmodeus, because he's so fucking big and bulky, right? Like, because he has this absolute Dorito chip shape, well, more heart shape, but like this Dorito chip fucking physique with this itty tiny little waist. Because Vipsy Pop. Like, they're really careful and conscientious about making sure that that break there, like the S-curves and the flow of his body into his hips, that's always managed in his key poses, like, with a lot of expressiveness and a lot of drama. So he's, like, always peacocking in his motion. Like, his movement is always him peacocking, like, strutting, thrusting out his chest, which, like, that's very, very well judged with, like, with his character. But it's also very necessary for a character who's that big and bulky to occupy a role of elegance in the screen without looking clumsy, without looking clunky. I also like Fizz's acting here, right? Like, because Ozzy has already kind of won him over, right? Like, Ozzy has already calmed him. Fizz is already sinking into his love for Ozzy, right? He's already there. So this, like, I don't know why you waste your time on me. This is flirting, right? Like, a little bit, like, it's both, like, it's him asking for more reassurance, but you can also see it on him, like, this is part of the game we're playing right now. Right, so it's like, I need reassurance. I need you to chase me. I need you to come for me, right? I need you to keep giving me this. But also, he's playing a little bit along with the game, right? And that's really well managed. That little gesture is good too. Like, the little lifting the hand up and then turning the fingers together and then going in for the clench. That is sickening. That is sickeningly romantic. That is disgusting. This is perverse hand-holding on my Christian YouTube channel. How dare you, you filthy perverts at Spindlehorse. Like, the dildos and the lube and the fucking like confetti cum shot, all of that I can handle, but putting this on screen where children could see it, honestly. But it's distressingly, it's so, again, sincerity, right? It is such a completely sincere gesture of affection, and Fizz takes it so completely seriously. And that's another thing, like, not to fucking sit here and whinge like an old man, but, like, I've occasionally tried to watch romantic comedies, romance movies, like the modern ones of the kind. And it's like, you can't get a gesture, like in a fucking modern romantic comedy, it's like, or any kind of romance movie, I don't think they would play a gesture like this straight. Like, they would do it, and then the characters would be kind of embarrassed with it. Like, oh, that's so corny. Like they would do a little, like, disarming thing because they couldn't lean into the sincerity of that. But for Fizz, you can see, like, literally the way the lighting is portraying it here. This lights up his entire world, right? Like, that little gesture of genuine, gentle affection, love, right? Like, not horniness, not physical desire, but just, I want to be together with you, right? You can see that that means everything to him in this moment. Right? What can't I see? Again, asking for more reassurance, but also knowing that he'll get it. It's disgusting. It's sickening. It is gross. It is romantic propaganda. And as an aromantic person, I will not stand for this perversion of the natural way of being. Falling in love. Ugh, gross. Again, I'm thinking back to, like, fucking Asmodeus with his little song and dancing odds. He's just like, ooh, who's singing love songs in my cabaret? Yeah, fuck you, dude. Like, oh, okay. Like, now all of a sudden, oh, I see. Talking shit about Millie and Moxie. Like, that's another thing I like also. Is like, I like the playfulness of it. Because that's the other thing. Like, romance media, romance fiction, sometimes, not always, but sometimes it gets a little bit like, oh, all of the feelings are tormentous and all of the feelings are like portentous and momentous and other things that have the us suffix, right? Like, all of the things are big and huge and stormy, and romance is like this, like, whirlwind of torment and ecstasy. And it's like, yeah, but like, sometimes romance is just two people being real fucking silly goobers at each other. Right? Like, sometimes that's what romantic love is like this capacity to be completely playful and like completely at ease, being the silliest goose you've ever been in your life with someone else, right? And I do like that that's there. Like that, I think that's an important part of, especially given how horny so much of the show otherwise is. I think that playfulness is kind of important for delineating visually between when our characters expressing romantic and sexual affection for one another, that the playfulness is there. That's something I really do like about their relationship, is like how playful they are with each other. And how goofy and silly that they're okay being. And I will also say that's one of the criticisms that I've sort of really started to dislike about the Helluverse thing, is like, people, oh, it's all just like kind of edgy nonsense, like, oh, like people comparing to South Park and shit. Is like, no. Like, absolutely, there's some edgy juvenile nonsense in these episodes sometimes. Absolutely, it's not all of it works for me. But, like, there are people who sort of say, oh, well, it's just a bunch of dick jokes and cum jokes. And it's like, no. This shit, like, whatever else the show is, you don't have to vibe with it, you don't have to like it. But whatever else it is, it's sincere. Right? Like, it is achingly romantic in much the same way that Has Been Hotel is. And I mean romantic not just in the sense of, like, as pertains to romance fiction. I mean romantic in the classical sense of the term, which is like this belief and this love of feeling, of emotionality, right? And it is like, for all that it is like, we talked about this with the star seeking, the Octavia episode when she goes to LA, right? we talked about this there, that one of the things I didn't really vibe with that particular episode about is like this sort of unrelenting sort of snarky cynicism about, oh, LA, it's so fake and everyone's so shitty, you know, like children doing cocaine, blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't really vibe with that because that to me felt kind of like, yeah, okay, cool, like that. It felt like just a bunch of cynicism and sort of whinging about like how shit things are. Has been, like, Helluva Boss definitely has the capacity for that kind of cynicism. I don't really vibe with that very much, but it also has the capacity for this shit, right? For having, like, this big, ridiculous, top-hatted ass fucking, like, flame-headed rooster Hades crow in a ridiculous suit making out with a frog clown.
Little flips.
And, like, foreheads pressed together, looking deep into each other's eyes, right? It has the capacity to do that.
You make my crooked heart do froggy little flips.
Ribbit.
Right? Playfulness. Froggy little flips. And then we do the kiss, right? And we take it seriously. We're like, this is one thing, right? Like, sometimes the show likes to, when the characters do the kiss, Moxie and Millie do this a lot, like, we do the thing of, like, like shoving their tongues in and out of each other's faces, like, really sort of reveling in it. It also holds itself back from doing that here. It's a romantic kiss, not a funny one. It'll get horny in a second, I'm sure, but...
Listen to me now, bitch!
The heart shape. Framing the two of them with the heart shape. But again, thematically, right? Thematically, over the course of the episode, that shitbag has been a representation of all of Fizz's insecurities, all of his feelings of unworthiness, right? It has been this presence that plays on everything that he fears about himself. And now, after Ozzy has, like, genuinely very deeply confirmed his love for him, and like that his love has nothing to do with Fizz's abilities and clowning and all that shit, well, now this motherfucker can be dispensed with, right? Now this guy's power can be broken, right? His hold over Fizz can be broken. So thematically, right, like, that's why he bursts in the door this very moment and gets a bullet through his brain from Blitz. It's because this is the moment when that happens, right?
Oh, so you two are...
And also, the other thing, the mirror is shaped like Mammon's face, and the bullet also breaks the mirror, which I would assume, like, I'm just presuming here, also signals, like, the beginning of the breaking of power, of Mammon's power to shape Fizz's self-image, right? Because Fizz was looking at himself in Mammon's mirror, feeling bad about himself because the way that, like, he feels like he has to look for Mammon. So now there's, like, this idea of the breaking of the power of Mammon over Fizz's self-image. How's that going to play out? I guess we'll see.
Oh, so you two are an item. Well, congratulations, you fucking hypocrites.
Don't worry, folks. I'm sure Fizzarolli will be out soon with a brand fucking performance.
Cha-ching. Let me just see those sparkles on him. Once again, the fucking smoke rendering, man. Just the way he treats them physically is like, oh no. Again, if you want to have your your head shoved in someone's armpit, that's fine, consensually. It's just, this is like,
I have wasted time. I have seen my use. I have
I'm sorry, there can't be pictures in the background and you expect me not to pause and look at them? Sorry, not happening. There we have the weight thing again, right? Like the thing on the scale. Okay, let's go back and take it from the top.
I have wasted time. I have seen my use. I have packaged and sold every part of me, suffered a lifetime of abuse. I have lost myself. I have worshipped at your feet. And here I am standing on top of the world with some bitches to defeat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but again, lighting, when they were performing, they controlled the light, right? They controlled the lighting, like everything was colored in their colors, right? Like they had the colored outlines, all of that. When Fizz puts the spotlight on them, they are shabby and gray, right? Like all of their color is gone, all of their light is gone. He controls the light now, so he has the power over the scene. Good visual language.
I played the game, I've won it all. They've screamed my name, they bought the doll. I've seized the day, now I've got one thing left to say. Hey, fuck you! Here's my 2 minutes notice, fuck you! Time to quit and smell the roses, say goodbye. While I look you in the eye and say, fuck you!
Interesting song. Wonder what fucking this is about.
It's about you.
Wait, what?
Taking shit.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Crushed under your heel. I have suffered for profit and suckered for fame. Made a fortune you could steal. I've had enough. I've hit the wall. I'm tired of taking
Pick up, pick up.
your calls. It ends today. Now there's just one last thing to say. Hey, fuck you. I wish I'd said it sooner. Fuck you. Cut you off just like a tumor. Hope you die. Kiss my ass goodbye, you cuck. Fuck you. Have you ever felt sick and tired of doing the same shit every day with your anger brewing, eating shit for a boss that you're sick of obeying? If you ever felt the same, let me hear you say it. Did you really think I was gonna stay? Spending life bent over with your fist in my A. Slander me, say I'll never work in this town. If I stick around, I'll be 6 more feet under the ground. Fuck you. Oh, suck it, greedy bastard. You're a fucking ass clown. Say goodbye.
He doesn't, like, he just doesn't comprehend it.
So this is it. Mama, you sad sack of shit. Fuck you, bitch. Yeah.
I do like that this guy is so fucking vapid, right? He's so empty. He has, like, he does not care about art. He doesn't comprehend music. He doesn't comprehend anything artistic. To the point is like, Ozzy has to show up. No, it's about you. What? I don't get it. Until the very end was like, Fizz literally has to name drop it and say, this song's about you, actually. All of the lyrics I just sang, they specifically relate to the way that you have treated me. So fuck you, actually. In neon lights with cannons and fire before he gets it. Because, again, Mammon doesn't care about the artistic quality of anything. He doesn't have any artistic sense. He doesn't care about anything artistic. It doesn't enter his mind. So he's just saying, yeah, it's a song with a beat. We can sell that on iTunes. Clap, clap, clap.
I've won it all. They've screamed my name.
Man, I know I say it every time, but come on, like, this is some fucking character designs, man.
Screamed my name. They bought the doll.
And then, like, this fucking... Well, and then... Jesus Christ.
Day. Now I've got one thing left to say. Hey, fuck you!
And it is telling to me, specifically, like, that... Like, there's the removal of the costume, right? Obviously, like, pulling off the costume, pulling off, like, the mask of it all. And, like, specifically that he's beginning to show off his damage, right? Like, those are his prosthetic arms, right? Like, he's beginning to show those off. And just look at the fucking twirling. Like, Fizz and twirling, name a more iconic duo. Like, look at that fucking... Just, all of the shit they just do with his fucking anatomy all the time. Ah, get wrecked, kid. That's a good key pose. I really like the weight of that. Like, just jump in particular. I don't know why, but, like, this jump in particular. And, like, the way, like, the weight comes in and he falls backwards, and you can see he begins, like, the rotation of his body by using his legs to twist around. It's really nice. I like that. Like, I wonder what the fucking this is about.
It's about you. Right.
What? Like, he gets told directly, he's like, wait, what? What? Huh? Huh? If this is about me, maybe I should pay a little more attention. So this, I wonder, like, is that allegorical, or has Mammon been directly physically abusing Fizz in that way? Because you could read it either way, right? Like, you could read it as allegorical abuse, but like, that certainly seems to be more allegorical than literal, right?
Under your heel, I have suffered for profit and
like the dangling, like that wild sort of flailing. That's really well handled as a piece of physical acting there.
fortune you could steal.
Again, hokey, right? Like allegorical, right? Like, in terms, like, very obvious symbolism here, right? Like, breaking free of the shackles and chains. Like, it's very sort of first-year film student. Like, it's sort of, it's very, like, it's not a particularly complex metaphor for breaking free of control, right? But again, that sincerity, that simplicity, that commitment to it, because the show otherwise is fully committed, you can kind of get away with things that are sort of hokey and stereotypical in that way.
I'm tired of taking your calls. It ends today. Now there's just one last thing to say. Hey, hey, fuck you. I wish I'd said it sooner. Fuck you. Cut you off just like a tumor.
Again, the tearing off of the costume. And just twirling and smear frames, my beloved. Fully on some genie shit right here.
Just like a tumor. Hope you die.
Love that. That's very Sam and Max.
Kiss my ass goodbye, you cuck. Fuck you.
I was hoping they'd spell out fuck you in the flames, but I guess not. Once again, lovely character designs. The implication here being that he's got a giant hard-on.
Have you ever felt sick and tired of doing the same shit every day with your anger brewing, eating shit for a boss that you're sick of obeying? If you ever felt the same, let me hear you say it. Did you really think I was gonna stay? Spending life bent over with your fist in my aid.
Very different reactions to anal fisting there. That was a sentence I just said with my mouth. Okay.
Me say I'll never work in this town. If I stick around, I'll be 6 more feet under the ground. Wow, suck it, greedy bastard. You're a fucking ass clown.
It is genuine. Like, that's genuinely very well observed. Like, that's a great way of showing what and who Mammon is by just having him not get it.
You're a fucking ass clown. Say goodbye. Too late to
I do also like again, sort of the things they bring to the relationship with one another, right? We see that, like, from the very first scene with the creep, right? Is that Fizz has a lot of trouble sort of standing up for his own boundaries, right? Of saying no on his own terms, or establishing, like what he is or is not willing to tolerate. And Blitz is the guy who's like, don't worry, babe, I'll do it for you. Like, Blitz is the guy who's willing to insist on Blitz's boundaries when Fizz's boundaries, when Fizz isn't able to do it for himself. Blitz is the guy who's gonna say like no, fuck you. This is like, these are the boundaries, and if you don't respect them, I'll kill you, right? In terms of like the thing they bring to each other, and on the other hand, like, my sense at least is that what Blitz gets from Fizz is like, Fizz is like that little ray of sunshine, right? Like, Blitz has this very dour, downbeat, cynical attitude towards the world, and Fizz is somewhat of an idealist, right? Like, he's someone who actually believes in some shit. And I think Blitz kind of needs that in his world. Like, I think that's part of the reason why he fixated so much on Moxie and Millie, is because these are two people who genuinely deeply love each other and have a healthy, functional relationship and can handle conflicts with one another, right? In a way that he can't. Like, I think Blitz has like a real emotional need for someone or something in his life that like has optimism, has like hope for the future, has a certain level of joy that he has lost access to. Which I think is, again, I hope they get to explore more of their actual friendship dynamic beyond just, you know, because there is something interesting there. This was about me the whole time? Again, fucking character design, man. Now, let's see how Mammon takes that. I'm sure he'll take it well.
Thank you all so much. You know, it's always been one of the greatest thrills of my life performing. And I'm so glad to bring you all one last show. 'Cause now... I quit!
What?
Now you understand?
Quit! You miserable piece of shit! What do you mean, quit?
I mean, I quit. I'm done. Good day, mate!
Oh, that motherfucker.
You fucking ungrateful little shit! I gave you everything! You are practically in my image! I raised you like the son I didn't want!
He literally fucking did. Oh, that's good. Okay, let's just hang on, because... literally, like, breaking out of, like, a chrysalis. Emerging in full demon form. Oh, someone had a good time with this. This is when the health bar appears at the bottom of the screen, like the Latin choir comes in. And Fizz needs to learn how to dodge roll. Like, very, very sort of Dark Souls boss intro this. Like, emphasizing the difference in size between them. There's some monster fuckers in chat right now who, maybe they're not saying it, but they're thinking it. Also, like, this fucking scream animation. I really like this. Like, that is some nice like, the way, like, as he does the scream, they emphasize it with the screen shake, right? That's really good. Anyway, he's about to literally do a fucking JoJo stand summon. Like, I swear to God that's on purpose.
I gave you everything! You are practically in my image! I raised you like the son I didn't want! Acting like a big fucking hero. Careful what you say, Ozzy. Wouldn't want your little secret getting out, would we? I don't care anymore.
Oz?
Because if you let him quit, I could tell everyone here that what? That I love him?
Well, I do.
Once again, character design alert. Oh, hey. Look, chat. You're in the show. Hang on. Wait. Babe, I can change, please. You don't get it. Don't talk to me. Don't message me. Don't call me ever again. We're done, assholes. Have a shitty day. I'm the one true shipper, and I was right all along. You called me a fool? Well, look who's laughing now. Expect fan art soon. It really is you. I'm pleased to announce that my collection of multicolored combs continues to grow. I'm forever grateful to all my followers who helps make this possible. And to the haters who like to shit on my collection, you're just ugly and jealous. Touch some grass. Oh, boy. Yeah, no, that's, Forum for clowns and clown-adjacent hellborns. Anyone have a good website where one could find quality high-res vids of downfeel? Downfeel? Feet? Huh? For research purposes, the only ones I can find 480p. I can't even see the wrinkles. Feet. Yes, clown feet. Not down. CL. That was a little hard to say. Jesus Christ. Internet.
Oh. Shit. You dirty bitch.
You are gonna regret revealing that, Oz.
No, he isn't, by the way.
So does that mean we win?
So, who tops?
Cute. Honestly, if I had to take a guess, I'd say they're both switches. Like, that guy's, like, if he's anything, he's definitely like a service top, right? Obviously. Must be. And, like, if he's a bottom, he's definitely a power bottom. You got, like, that kind of has to be the vibe, right? Like, Fizz is the one who's constantly more, and Ozzy's the one who's like, maybe we should slow down for a sec, babe. Like, there's only so much. Like, hang on, let's get you a glass of water. Like, that feels like the vibe here, right?
I'm a clown, bitch.
What a line to start the credits with.
Fix up your frown, bitch. Give me the clown.
As ever, we're gonna take some time just to look and see the credits. Because, like, audio QA, again, this show doesn't sound as good as it does without that. Without audio QA, like, again, wildly important fucking role.
On the urge to go make a mistake.
Michael Cusack, though. I should look him up. Hang on. What, really? Wait, seriously? That's him? I did not know that was... Oh. He's one of the fucking co-creators of Smiling Friends. I did not know that. Yeah, and like little things like Bushworld Adventure, Emoji Town, Doomlands. And then he's like Pim and Alan and Mr. Frog on Smiling Friends. I did not know the names of the creators of that show. Let's see. Thematic as Glitz and Glam. Oh! Wait, shit. It's Lulu? Wait a minute, hang on! That's Lulu! From fucking League of Legends! Because like I saw she had like a bunch of anime credits, and I was like, oh, okay, it's like she's from like that. That was fucking Lulu. She's Aki in Street Fighter 6. Holy shit. That's a fucking working as voice actor. Honkai Star Rail Tekken as Ling Xiaoyu in like the TV series. Petra in Fire Emblem Warriors. Three Hopes. Probably also Three Houses then. And then like just a fuckload of anime roles like Somnium Files, Isekai Quartet, Lost Ark, Neo The World Ends With You. She did a bunch of additional character voices for. Pokemon, she's done a bunch of voices for. Rune Factory, Tales of Runeterra as Lulu, of course. Genshin Impact, Wasteland 3. Ghost of Tsushima, she did some voices for. XCOM Chimera... Wait, hang on. Yeah, she was Violet in that one. Right. Magia Record, Guardian Tales, Grand Blue Fantasy. She's done some stuff for DC. Shenmue 3 she was in. Holy shit. She was Katie Killjoy in an episode of Has Been Hotel as well. Okay. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Konosuba, Pokemon Masters, Rising of the Shield Heroes, Sound Euphonium, Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, Whitesnake, God Eater 3, Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative, Octopath Traveler, Sword Art Online, Gundam Build Divers Fate Pro. This lady has like a credits list and a half. Holy fuck. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure she's been on. Mob Psycho 100. ReZero, Shadowverse, Detective Pikachu in the game. It just keeps going. Holy shit. She voiced Katarina for a League of Legends short as well. Okay, interesting. Love Live, Hunter x Hunter, more Hunter x Hunter. Sailor Moon, she did some voices for in 1996. Really? Like all the way back. Probably not 1996. That must have been later in the run, but she was Sailor Aluminum Siren. Toradora. She was on fucking Toradora? Damn. That's a fucking voice acting career and a half right there. Holy shit. And then we had the guy as a creep, Don Daryl Rivera, who like, yeah, not as extensive a career, but that was Iago from Aladdin, right? And he did one for Bad Luck Jack, which I think is one of Ipsy Pop's other. Oh, interesting. That fucking. That was some voice acting royalty right there. Holy shit. Like, I'm never going to learn all these names. Obviously, I'm never going to be able to memorize. I've seen that name around a couple times. But I do feel like I should spend a little time looking at them at least. Like reading them. Again, the FX team doing some fucking overtime work on this particular episode. Holy shit. Goncharov? It's real. No, just a last name, obviously, but how did that person feel about that meme blowing up on Tumblr? Like, that must have been weird. Additional services by Toon City, as, like, they would fucking need them. Painters, compositors, color stylists, artists. Brian Sattler doing a good job with the soundtrack. And then Juggling is Cool, performed by Tom Cardy, written and produced by... Yeah, that felt like it was fully a Tom Cardy product. Like, that felt like that was all him. That felt so much like him. I'm not surprised. That was pretty good. That was okay. I'd say it was half decent. Hello, chat. I can see you again. I missed a joke early on at 128. What? Women ain't funny? Oh, I see. Right, I get it. Okay, yeah, sure. Honestly. Interestingly, Fizz seems comfortable with blue fire, but not with green fire. In the song he sings in one of the pictures at the beginning of it, we can see him seemingly uncomfortable juggling green fire, but later in the song we see him perfectly comfortable with blue fire. Yeah, and that's, again, green is Mammon's color, right? Blue is the color of Ozzy, which is love for him. But, like, yeah, like, that's the color theming, the color coding, is, like, something that Helluva Boss is very good at, and, like, very consistent with the way that it uses color to associate to certain characters. It was confirmed in some extra material that Mammon is Ace. I mean, yeah, sure. I don't know how much that matters to his character, but hey, that's nice. You missed Hellhound Akali in a crowd shot and what's written on Fizz's phone cover. Wait, they put Akali in a crowd shot? Where exactly? Tell me the timestamp for that, because otherwise I don't know exactly how I'm going to find it. But I do want to see that. It's not Akali, it's a Hellhound from episode 8 during the Glitz and Glam number. Okay, but now I need to look for what character this supposedly is. You've made me curious now. It's not one of those. What, is it one of the ones down here? Top right. Oh, I see. Oh, that's supposed to be a Kali. I mean, I guess? Like, a cap and the mask and the hair, conceivably, but I feel like if they were doing an explicit sort of KDA reference with Akali, it would be more explicit than that. Like, it would be... They would, like, have the glow effect. They would, like, do it a little bit more explicitly than that. One of the theories I've seen is that the reason why it's unclown-like is because they're meant to be a personalization of the corruption of the art of clowning that Mammon has brought, where it's all about people's money and sexual desire to sell the body in question to fuck, as Mammon puts it. That was Twin Songs about. Yeah, like that's very much like that's very much in the lyrics of what's being said here, right? I want to sell my funny slutty body to the masses, right? Like they're being pretty explicit about it. Money can't buy happiness, but it can rent you paradise, right? Like it's prostitution, right? Like it's using the visual imagery and signifiers of prostitution, of sex work, to do this. Which, one of the things I've always been a little iffy about, they're clownfish. Oh, okay, I guess, sure. Is the way that both Helluva Boss and Has Been Hotel treat sex work. No, they're eels. That, yeah, I mean, I don't know fish well enough to really... the way that the shows treat sex work have always, like, it worries me a little bit. Like, it's not a thing of, like, I want to point to this specifically and say, whatever. But it is a thing that, like, I am a little sort of wary about, like, with Angel Dust in Has Been Hotel... with the way that sex work sort of, like, is at once kind of absent from the world of Helluva Boss, and then, like, sort of the use of the imagery and language associated with it for a song like that, it's like, I'm a little iffy on it, because, like, there's a bunch of tropes around what sex work is and how sex work works, that, like, when they're reproduced uncritically, they sort of add to a cultural narrative and a discourse that enables, like, abuse and oppression of sex workers, right? Like that, like, when you contribute to certain narratives about, like, oh, it's so exploitative, and, like, they're selling their bodies, and like, oh, it's uniquely exploitative. Like, selling your body for sex work is totally different than selling your body to Amazon in their warehouse, like, to destroy yourself. Like, oh, that's a totally different thing. We can't draw any equivalences between the two. We can't see labor as inherently exploitative at, like, to different degrees. Like, we can't, like, this is a separate category that cannot be, like, litigated in the same way. So sex work can't be considered work, and therefore it can't be eligible for labor protections. Sex workers can only be saved or condemned, but they can't be, like, they can't advocate for their own rights. They can't advocate for their own working conditions, because, like, the abuse that they suffer is placed in this separate moral category where it's not subject to any of the considerations we do for any other kind of labor, and that allows us to separate them out and deny them access to solidarity. And, like, you know, this episode is why comments to your additional reaction video about Has Been Hotel exploited with Can't Wait to See Helluva Boss, because you specifically talk about bosses selling employees' bodies. Yeah, it's like sex work has a lot of unique problems that you don't get in other industries, but that's true of, like, all industries have, like, their own unique problems, their own unique challenges, their own unique, like vectors of exploitation that don't exist in other industries, right? Like, the industry that I'm in is, like, yeah, this is, like, we are also exploited in a lot of ways, and we are very explicitly encouraged to, like, exploit parasocial connection. We're encouraged to, like exploit familial feelings with our audience. Like, this is something like I have gotten like Patreon sometimes puts on like they'll send out emails. We have a workshop for creators, like how to like turn your community into a source of revenue, like, and like all of the advice and all of like the techniques and tricks and tips there are for like how do you monetize an audience, how do you convince them to become subscribers on Patreon, how do you convince them to donate. And a lot of it is really this thing of like, well, you should really adopt like a very familiar language with your audience, and like you should make like one of the things they advise is like you should make up like a group name for your audience, like so they can call themselves like the TB Sky and Fanatics or whatever, and like so that encourages people to identify with your brand. It's like, yeah, no, that's undoubtedly that's very effective, but it's also really gross. Like it's also really gross, and I've never felt comfortable with it. But like there's a thing of like sex workers are encouraged to establish like relationships. Like they have to. Like that's kind of their job, is to establish relationship with their clients and meet their emotional needs as well as their physical needs, and like pursue like very specific kinds of parasocial relationships with them. And like what I do as an influencer here is like this industry that I'm in, it's not that fucking different. Like I don't sell feet pics, at least not yet. Like I don't give people access to my body in like a sexual way, but like the fundamental business, I say yet. Like I don't know, my views might collapse someday and a guy can get desperate. Like it's not that different. Like the way that I monetize you guys, like, the way I monetize you is not that different from how an OFer monetizes their audience. Like, we sell different products, right? Like, I sell whatever the fuck this is, and they sell feet pics and, like jerk-off instructions and whatever. But it's not, again, it's not that fucking different. Like, there is a similarity enough that, like, at least people in my position should be able to have solidarity with sex workers, right? And understand the challenges and the difficulties that they go through. Like I know people who run OFs, right? Like who do like OnlyFans work, who sell their feet pics and their titty pics and their, you know, other things. And like the work that they do, the challenges, the difficulties that they have, they're not that fucking different. And like if there were to be such a thing as a content creator union, sex workers ought to be part of that, or at least if there's a sex worker union, they ought to be like in very close solidarity with us, because it's the same shit, right? And that's kind of one of the themes of the episode, right? Is that like, yeah, Fizz isn't a sex worker. He's not asked to have sex with anyone in like directly, but his body is still exploited. Like his whole being is still exploited and objectified as like a means of gratifying the audience, both sexually and in a whole fuck ton of other ways. And like, it's not that fucking different, right? Like it's not that strong of a divide. We have this cultural imagination that like, oh, like sex work and regular work, that those are like different worlds, that like two worlds forever apart, like can never come together. But like it isn't that fucking different, right? It's like there should be solidarity between these industries, and yet like that's one of the reasons why it's so fucking frustrating to go online and see some fucking Twitch streamer fuckboy ass dipshit being like, oh, OF girls, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh, Amaranth streams hot tub, blah, blah, blah. Go fuck yourself, dude. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck are you sitting there, gamer's smelly ass man cave motherfucker, convincing yourself that the girl who like has to have perfect skincare routine, has to like touch up every image of her that she puts online, like has to do the lighting and the post-production and all of that shit to show off her fucking feet to the internet. How are you sitting there convincing yourself like, oh, she has such an easier job, it's no effort, it's like, how are you doing that? How the fuck are you? If you do this shit for a living, if you do this shit, like me, I am sitting here whoring my ass out to 500 people on Discord right now. And you sit here and you think like, oh no, I am in a position of greater dignity than the girl selling titty pics on OnlyFans. Like, fuck off. Fuck off. Like, oh yeah, like me sitting here shouting at a cartoon for teenagers. I am in the position of dignity. I am in a position of like cultural superiority. Yeah, fuck off. Like, if you sit there on your ass 14 hours a day shouting at video games for a living, shut your ass up. Eat shit. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, stand in solidarity with the OFers, with the sex workers, with the titty streamers, with the cam girls, or shut the fuck up. You're in the same business, motherfucker. Like, I cannot stand these shitheads. I cannot stand them. These, like, just the limpest spines in existence. Like, just the grasping desperately for misogyny as a way to, like, hold on to a sense of superiority over other people who work harder than them for less reward. Like, fuck off. Like, come the fuck on. Because, like, there is a truth to the fact that if you have, like, an attractive body type, if you are reasonably good at marketing yourself, like, not an expert, like, yes, you can make a lot of money quite quickly on OnlyFans. Like, this is a thing which it is possible to do, right? And in some ways, some parts of it are, air quotes, easier, right? Like, there are parts of it that are more easily facilitated. But, like, if you are a sex worker, and it doesn't matter what the fuck kind you... Like, I know... I have friends who, like draw porn for a living, right? Like, I used to draw porn as part of my commission business, and you have to hide that shit from PayPal. Like, PayPal cannot fucking know that you received, like, received money for, like, a commission of, like, some furry foot porn or whatever. They cannot know that because they will cut off your entire account overnight, no appeal, you're fucked, right? Your bank can't know it. Like, there are places, like, there's something called the Nordic model, right, of sex work enforcement that is practiced in, like, many places in Scandinavia. We don't quite do it here in Denmark, some modifications, but it's like, it's a model that sort of goes, okay, we won't criminalize performing sex work, but we'll criminalize the purchasing of sex work, because that way we're protecting the poor little sex workers who can't be trusted to make their own decisions, right? Like, it's this very patronizing sort of like, we'll kill the buyer's market, and then all the sex workers will just stop doing sex work somehow. Like, never mind that some people do it because it's the only form of labor under capitalism that their bodies can handle, or like that like is capable of accommodating their disabilities. No, like, none of that. Never mind that. Don't give them support for that. Don't help them transition into other industries. Just make it harder for them to sell the only product that they have that's available to be sold, right? Like, fuck off. Used to draw porn. I still draw porn. I just don't do it for money anymore. Like, never mind that. We're just gonna, like, moralistically cut off. And, like, if you are a sex worker, like, if you're a sex worker of any kind, you can lose your house, right? Like, that's one of the parts of the Nordic model, is that it's illegal to profit from pimping. But the funny thing about the law is that if you're a sex worker and you're in your own apartment and you do sex work in your own apartment, and then you use the money from that sex work to pay your landlord, well, that's proceeds from pimping, so now your landlord can get prosecuted and charged for, like, being your pimp, even though, like, you just fucking live there. So now your landlord, if they find out that you're, like, doing any kind of fucking sex work, you can get kicked out of your apartment because, like, they're like, no, I can't have you here because I could go to jail, like, because now I know that you do that, and that, like, so, like... And if the bank finds out that you're a sex worker, well, if the bank has money that you made from sex work in their accounts and they're charging like a profit for that, or investing that money and thus making money for the bank, those are proceeds from sex work. So now the bank is like, oh shit, we have to cover our liability. We can't have you as a customer because we know that you profit from sex work, and if we profit from sex work, all of our money is all of a sudden forfeit to the police, and the police can show up to your apartment any fucking time that they want if you're a sex worker and be like, oh, that we have decided that these are illicit proceeds from the procedure of crime. We're just going to take your money now, and oh, that's an object you use. Like, police can just show up and take your shit. They can just rob you blind, which means that sex workers, if they are abused, if they are like abused by pimps, if they're trafficked, if they have violent clients, if they get into some kind of trouble, can't go to the fucking cops, because not only could that lose them their entire apartment, because all of a sudden their landlord is like, oh shit, someone has been doing sex work in one of my apartments, better kick them out. Like, you can lose all of your money, you can lose your ability to make money, you can lose your entire client network. And it's like, but hey, we're making sex workers so much safer. We're getting rid of a very bad... It's like, go fuck yourself. Anyway, How the fuck did I blacked out there for a second. How did we end up here? Oh, right. OFers and shit. Like, my point being, like, yes, there's a tiny sliver of truth that, like, it can be easier to make a lot of money in the sex work industry a bit, but that shit comes with some drawbacks. That comes with challenges, like the difficulty in finding a lawyer, the difficulty in finding an accountant, the difficulty in finding a home, the difficulty in finding people to assist you with shooting. Like, it's not like fucking Twitch streamer, gamer bro asshole dipshits sitting on their ass in their man caves being like, oh, they have such an easy job. Like, eat shit and die. That was the point. That was what I was trying to say. That was the point I was trying to get to, is gamer bros who look down on sex workers can eat shit and die. Yeah, I think that's where it was. Also, sex negative feminists, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, fucking swerfs? No, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway. I think I was watching a cartoon at some point tonight. Yes, right. A cock and a frog having a sincere romance. That was the subject of our discussion. Because I didn't get to talk about... Like, come the fuck on. Like, the way he appears, like, in the fucking, like, the fucking roar of the flame, and you see his shape slowly start to form and emerge out of the fire. And Fizz just there, like, fucking Kamina, like, summoning the drill that pierces the heavens. Fully on some JoJo shit. That's... Look at this fucking fire animation. Look at these fucking effects, man. Like, that is Sakuga as fuck. That is... Like, not gonna lie, I was moderately, just a little bit disappointed that we didn't actually get a fucking slugfest here. Like, I wanted to see these two dipshit. I wanted to see Mammon get his entire shit rocked. I wanted the battle, man. I know it makes sense why they didn't. Like, the fight wouldn't be the point. Expression alert. Like, that's me. That's me seeing that. That's 100% absolutely accurate. I wanted the fucking kaiju battle. I wanted them to go at it. Like, I wanted them to, like, just give me a little bit of that fucking Super Saiyan, like, embodiment of sin fight. Just give me just a little. I just want a little bit, VFC. It's just a taste, just a smidgen. I can quit tomorrow. I can quit anytime I want. I just want a little bit. Just need a little. Just need until Saturday, right? Like, I'll get you the money. I just a little bit, please. It's a small thing, but the symbol that appears before it materializes is the demonologic summoning signal for Asmodeus. Yeah, like, that's the thing that's part of the show's language. Like, that one would be the one for Mammon, right? Like, they use a bunch of the stuff from the Ars Goetia, and, like, the various sort of ostensible demonological red curtains, shit like that. I sort of didn't think that was worth commenting on. Anime as fuck right here. With the fucking top hat, too. Someone in the chat is saying that Mammon is way stronger. I'm not so sure about that. Like, because, like, as someone else is pointing out in chat as well, right? It's like, Oz is like, I don't care anymore. And Mammon, like, his move is to, like, I could threaten you with something. I could embarrass you. And then when that doesn't work, Mammon is kind of like, well, fuck, now I don't know, I don't have a move now, right? Like, what am I... Like, Mammon doesn't really have a next move after that or anything to threaten him with. It's like, clearly, Mammon is not keen on a physical confrontation. So, like, I don't know that, like Crim saying that Oz is the weakest of the sins, I don't think that's necessarily, like, an accurate reflection of power levels. I think that's Crim, like, being... like terminally incapable of not underestimating whoever he's interacting with. Because that's part of his character trait, is like he underestimates Millie, he underestimates Blitz, he underestimates Moxie, and he underestimates fucking Chazwig, of all people, to the point of being scammed by him. Like, I don't know that I put that much stock in Crim's assessment of the power levels of hell, right? Like, if Vivsy Pop has said specifically that Ozzy is the power level weakest sin, sure, but Crim, I would not trust on this. Yeah, Crim got scammed by fucking Chaz. I don't trust his ability to assess anyone or anything. Might also be the issue that fights between sins are not allowed. Lucifer wouldn't be too keen on large-scale destruction, and the other sins would be aligned with that to enforce it. Again, sure, but, like, do we know that much outside of just assumptions? My assumption would be, as someone says in chat, like, that all the sins are equal in power, right? Like, except Satan and Lucifer, like, Lucifer being fallen angel level extra power on top of that. My assumption would also be that, like, the sins have equal power, because, again, if we go by they are all the deadly sins. Like, these are the 7 deadly sins. If you commit them, you go to hell. There isn't really a gradient of, like, oh, yeah, some of the sins are more powerful than others. It's like, like, you go to hell, right? They are all the deadly sins. Like, Lucifer is like sort of the prime evil, the most hated of all. The pride goeth before the fall and all that. But beyond that, there isn't really, like, a ranking of which sin is worse than others. Like, Dante Alighieri, does impose, like, his particular vision of, like, these descending circles of hell has, like, a hierarchical bent to it, right? To an extent. But that was also in part because, like, Dante Alighieri, he was like grinding a lot of axes with, like, the Divine Comedy. Like, he was specifically like, and he, like, here is some of the not so bad people in, like, the higher circles of hell, and, like, yeah, okay, they're being punished, but, like, maybe some of the cool, and then, like, the more he hates someone, the lower down he puts them in hell, right? Like the more he personally dislikes someone, the deeper they go, and the more, like, humiliating their punishment. But, like, I believe that within Christian theology itself, there isn't really this gradation of severity of, like a deadly sin is not more deadly than any other sin because it's all deadly sins, right? And, like, and if I were to, like, go by common storytelling tropes, right? Like, if we were to go by the common tropes of narrative as they exist in storytelling, Mammon has nothing to fight for. Mammon doesn't give a shit about anything. Like, that's we demonstrate that repeatedly over the course of the episode. He doesn't actually care about anything. He doesn't give enough of a shit to actually risk his life for much of anything. Asmodeus, on the other hand, loves Fizz so fucking much, and he will throw absolutely everything he has into defending that little frog. So, like, why would Mammon ever want to take the risk of, like, going into a full-blown confrontation with someone who's willing to pour all of his power, everything he has, throw away his empire, throw away everything? Right? Like, I think it comes down to that a little bit more. Mammon and Adam are, like, the same guy in different fonts. No? Well, I mean, it's not the dissimilar, like, it's not like they're totally dissimilar. But Adam, like, he is he's a different kind of scumbag than Mammon. Like, Adam is much more concerned with, like, his self-image. Adam is much more concerned with his ego of, like, being seen to be the best at all times. Mammon doesn't really care about being seen to be the best. That's why he, like, takes Fizz on and uses him as the front. It's like, he kind of knows, yeah, I'm actually not that great of a clown, but I can fucking exploit one, right? Like, he doesn't mind if people don't consider him the greatest clown in the world, so long as he owns the greatest clown in the world and can make money from him. Is like, that's the same thing to him, right? Is like, Adam is much more like, I need to be the best, I am the best, everyone else sucks more than me, I am like that's the irony of Has Been Hotel, right? I guess that Adam is much more the sin of pride than Lucifer is, right? Like, that's part of the injustice there, is like, Adam deserves to be in hell a lot more than Lucifer does, right? Like, as we can see quite objectively. So, you know. Someone said something interesting. The issue with Ozzy dating is that he chides others for love while extolling a belief in pure lust. Him dating for love is hypocritical and thus a scandal. Yeah, like, it very much seems that, like, Ozzy has an image thing where, like, he's like, oh, love, love sucks. Who cares about love? Only fucking and lust and shit. And he can't actually maintain that image, and that's sort of scandalous in hell, I guess. But I will say, like, the guy is allowed to have some character development, right? Like, which he clearly has. Like, he's clearly decided that, like, this is more important. Like, fuck the image. Fuck all of that. That hypocritical nonsense is not worth maintaining. It's not worth doing that posturing anymore. I'm throwing it away. Like, and that's a little bit of a parallel as well. That, like, that thing about, like, abandoning image, abandoning a perceived perfection and the pressure to maintain a certain image, like, for the sake of business in favor of living authentically, right? There's a parallel here with being closeted. In case, you know, I feel like don't need to point it out, right? But there's a parallel here with, like, oh, being, like, closeted queer people and, like, the risks and the embarrassment and, like, the public humiliation of living openly in the relationship with someone you love. Not as a, like, not in the sense of, like, a direct parallel, but it has some thematic relevance, right? So, like, he's allowed to have that development, right? Like, we see even, like, because I think even in Aussies, there is, like, the indication that, like, oh no, yeah, like, he gives this huge song about, like, lust is the only thing that matters, lust is the only thing, and then, like, he goes and fucking cuddle wuddles with his little foggy wuggy, and, like, in a way that's totally not romantic. Like, I think it's clear from the beginning that that's a pile of horse shit. To the point that, like, it's even disproven within the episode where Moxie and Millie, like, get to have their triumph moment at the end of it. Like the show very, very quickly dispenses with the notion that what he's saying there is true at all. So, you know. But yeah, no, it's hypocrisy. I have made a lot of fun of them for that. Like, I have made a lot of fun of them for that hypocrisy, because it's dumb and silly. I think also that Krim might specifically dislike lust and love because he sees it as weak and useless. That's the other thing, right? Like, Krim, when Krim sees Moxie as weak, right? Like, oh yeah, that's what you like. You homos, you like dicks and cocks and shit, right? Like, it's fucking whatever, right? He sees that as a weakness in his son, right? He sees that as a weakness, as an imperfection in his son, that he has this gay shit going on, or fucking whatever, like, so, like, the idea that he would look down on this specifically is like, yeah, no, that makes sense to me. Like, that he would transfer that over to, oh, that's just porn and dicks and stuff, whatever, that's for weak people who don't have, like, strength in their soul or whatever. That would make sense as a part of his characterization. Okay. Was that everything I wanted to talk about? I mean, the answer to that is no, because there's always more, but do I want to cut it short here? Let me just check the runtime. 2 hours 57 plus whatever was in the... Yeah, short. Yeah, we're cutting it short. We're cutting it short now. We're being brief today. We're taking it easy. We're not overdoing it. We're not talking too much about it. Spider-Man pose, by the way. Just a little modest 3.5 hours, whatever, however the fuck long this is gonna turn out to be. Reaction to a 20-minute episode of a fucking cartoon show on the internet. Let's leave it here. Bye.